Today is Monday, June 23rd, 2025, and welcome back to another conversation about Pembroke memories. Sorry. I am
Get
Lance.
it together.
Yeah, Pembroke memories. I am Lance, our Jelly, our Prince, and most Pembroke people know me as Lance. Join me for a conversation this evening, my friend from Calbeck Avenue. And we know each other from what idea we need, which is more than a half a century. So welcome back, Philip, or any foul, to the conversation. Also join us for this conversation, of course, is a man from uptown side of Pembroke, from Aqualita Vale, whose two older brother, Bumpy and Billy, were larger than life figure in Pembroke, both in personality and size. So welcome back, Rudolph, Tumpa, Tony, Kamika. Welcome. Our guest today will have to give a proper introduction. You know. She and her family moved to Pembroke in 1962 and was one of the first family to move to the side of Pembroke, closest to Washington Boulevard, or as we come for call them days, at downtown Pembroke. And, and, she, and she lived at 24 Chippenham Avenue. Her mother's craving for June Plum while her mother was pregnant with her made her give her the nickname June. She described growing up in Pembroke as a wonderful experience. I remember being the first one to get to the mobile library, which came every week. And I don't remember going to the mobile library at all. And maybe because we were from Midtown, Phil, on the other side of Pembroke.
Yeah, Jelly. The mobile library used to come out.
I know, but I never go there, Phil. I never go there. That's what I mean.
Oh.
I don't remember going there at all, even though I became an
Well, I
avid.
guess you probably felt that it was below you.
That's what I said, from Midtown, Pembroke,
As an
yes.
uptown man.
Yeah, no, Midtown. I don't recall ever going to the mobile library. I just don't. Oh, I guess was fond of reading Roman, Greek, and Norse mythology. And I didn't look it up in a Google, so she forgot to explain to me what that is. Norse. She remember being the only girl to ride a bicycle in Pembroke in the early days and was always teased by the boys, telling her to mind you squeeze your balls when she was riding her cousin's bicycle. And the only question I have for that, and she forgot to explain to me during the conversation, was there no ladies' wheel bicycle in those days? But she will answer that during our conversation. Her mother was a dressmaker and kept her looking cute in stylish clothes. She went to All Saints, Jonestown Primary, and ultimately St. Hugh's High School. And she said she was forced to migrate against her wishes in 1974 to the United States. So there's a whole heap to talk about. But without a further ado, our guest is here to tell our own Pembroke memory. So we welcome MARCIA B. Samuels, and I emphasize the B because she will explain to us what the B means to the conversation. Introduce yourself, Marcia.
Hi, everybody. This is Marcia Samuels B, meaning I always tell people B stands for beautiful because that is me. I consider myself to be very beautiful. And thank you for having me.
Come on, welcome. Reintroduce back yourself, Phil.
Yes, Marsha, let me welcome you to the Pembroke memories first and foremost. And as Lance said, we are childhood friends, and people call me Any, some call me Philip, some call me Any Fall, during different times in my life. Grew up on Calbeck Avenue, spent all of 27 years in Jamaica before migrating, and would not trade Pembroke life for nothing. So only a pity it's not as good as it used to be, but probably we can do something about that.
And Tony, reintroduce back yourself, my brother.
Yes, so good evening, Marcia. Welcome,
Thank you.
Marcia.
Thank
I
you.
was pleased to meet you, and you and I had a chat, so that's awesome that we're on. I'm Rudy Kamika, but most people from Pembroke would know me as either Tony or Tumpa, right? I lived at 58 Acolita Vale Avenue in what I've learned through this program. Them call it Uptown, 3 bedroom. I'll start a fancy name. I never know that. I just know say all of the big ball of them come from below the field and we try a thing from up north.
Yeah.
And yeah, we used to go uptown with mobile. Our mobile was Tamred come library.
Yeah,
Go read
exactly.
Hardy Boys.
That's the
Crossroad,
problem,
yeah.
When you have it good, you don't know it.
No, right. Not even that library ever went to Tumpa. That's the thing. I never went to that library at all. And I am an.
So You never
You
like
are
reading, is that it?
walking
No,
encyclopedia.
that's a funny thing, Marcia. I turn out to be, as Philatel is, I'm an avid reader, but I didn't become a reader until late in life. When I actually took up reading, but when I repeat in fifth form, that's when started taking reading seriously. But before that, and I took A-level, and the only subject I passed in A-level was history, which I think you noted I said I didn't like history at all. So yeah. But I love reading now, Marcia. I will read 2-3 books a week, and I listen more than read now. So yeah, we answer your question. Tony didn't finish. Sorry.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Yeah. So welcome, Marcia. So you say you moved to Pembroke in 1962. How old were you when you moved to Pembroke?
I'm not gonna tell you that.
What?
Then you get
We got another one, Lance.
Yeah.
Sweetheart, age is nothing but a number. It's not.
Me figure out our age already.
You figure out that age. Okay. All right, let me ask you a question. But I still not going to know. Were you going to primary school when you started Pembroke or high school? Let me ask you a question this way.
there was a little school on Marywood Avenue, so I wasn't in primary school yet.
Oh, basic school. So you come from Pembroke young
Yeah, so
then. Yeah. Young.
Yeah.
I hear you, boss. I hear you. So, where you guys were living before you came to Pembroke?
At Fitzgerald Lane. I don't remember it. Fitzgerald Lane, which was down off, I believe,
Walton Park Road, I think.
Walton Park Road. Yeah.
Okay.
There was, what was that cemetery that was there? That big cemetery.
Chinese
Chinese
cemetery.
cemetery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it
Christian,
wasn't a Chinese cemetery. It was another cemetery. The one where most people got buried at the time.
Yeah.
Chinese cemetery are the biggest cemetery on
Walton
Waltham
Park
Park
Road.
Road.
Okay, all right.
Don't let that
I
cemetery I
guess
think
that's
about is
it.
Calvary Cemetery, but that never upon Walton.
No.
That at the Power Waltham. I think you have a church with a small cemetery in it. I don't remember exactly where on Waltham, but I'm pretty sure there was a church where had like a small burial lot attached to it. But the biggest cemetery on Waltham is Chinese cemetery, just below Crescent Road.
Yeah. So you were, when you came to Pembroke, Master, you had brothers and sisters or cousins. How much you move come to Pembroke?
No. When I came to Pembroke, it was just me and my cousin Patrick, who went to Calabar. Later on, went to Calabar, and then later on, my brother joined us and another cousin. So my mother, my aunt, my grandmother, myself, and my cousin all moved to Pembroke at the same time.
From
And we all
where?
lived in the same household.
Fitzgerald Avenue, Fitzgerald Avenue.
Fitzgerald Avenue.
Yeah. And it says how much on about the Whitefield, sorry.
No, I was wondering why was that the case? Why other didn't, especially your siblings?
I didn't have any siblings. I didn't have any siblings. My brother is 10 years my junior, so he was born much later.
Okay. So you had a boss.
Pembroke.
There's some history there, but ultimately he came to Pembroke. Yeah, he came to Pembroke and lived with
It
us.
sounds like a real soap opera.
Yeah, man. Behind the paid wall, man says, all right, then think what you don't want to us, that's fine. So what you say your cousin went to Calabar. What's his name? What's his last name? Call out his name, no?
Him name Patrick Telfer.
Patrick Telfer.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember Mikey. Mikey slash up the top about it. So where come Pembroke? No, yeah, go ahead, man.
One second, Lance.
Yeah.
So Marcia, you related to Ian Telfer?
No. My last name at the time was Evans. So Marcia Evans was my name.
Okay.
Okay. No. So what was that? When you come to Pembroke, who are some of the neighbors that you remember meeting in the early days of Pembroke?
I met, Michael London.
Wow.
Was my good friend. Still is my good friend. As a matter of fact, I spoke with him earlier today.
Oh, I talked to him all the while too. Yes, that's good. Yeah.
Who else was there? Next door there was this guy named Tennyson. His family later migrated to Washington, D.C. I lost contact with them. There was the Browns, which live across the street. The father was a policeman. Um, let's see, Marlon Thompson,
That's
Lloyd Thompson,
that's Prince, Walla brother them. Leslie Walla brothers.
Leslie, yes,
Yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah, 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 yeah.
As- Yeah, Lloyd and Marlon. I used to bake a lot when I was a kid.
Yeah.
You know, when you used to get the free butter and the milk powder.
Yeah. Home
So
economics,
yes, but this was when I went to
primary,
Jonestown, All Saints
Jonestown.
and Jonestown. I used to bake, so the boy they would come knocking on my gate because, of course, I was one of those who had to stay inside. I couldn't run the street as much as I wanted to, so I would bake, and then as soon as they know that the cake coming out of the oven, them come knock on the gate and come bake cake. So I was known as the baker there.
But that sound like you bake from a young man, if ever all since and a
Yeah,
bake.
yeah, yeah. I started baking very young. In
Mm-hmm.
fact, when I got married to Michael McCullough, he went near Mackey. He
Yeah.
went to Calabar and he used to play ball,
Michael
up there.
McCallum, I know Mikey, man. Him live
Hmm.
down, I saw him here in Florida.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
he passed away a couple years ago.
Yes,
You know.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I know him very well.
Yeah.
Very well.
So
Yeah.
I even baked our own wedding cake.
Wow. Wow.
Wow. That's awesome.
That was something else, yeah. For the bride bake our own wedding cake. That was
Yeah. Yeah, I think you probably have your own bakery now then.
No, no, I don't. No, baking is a
How is
hobby.
that? With such a passion, how is that?
I was just not meant to go that way. My what I wanted to do when I was in school, I studied the sciences, biology, chemistry, physics, and my thought was that I wanted to become a psychiatrist.
Okay.
okay, yeah, 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 yeah.
Why
Well,
was that?
yeah, go ahead. Sorry, Phil, yeah.
Well, I was always medically inclined, but
Mm.
something about the mind just
Yeah.
intrigued me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can see that. It's a very powerful thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, so Master,
Continue on.
your bio you talk about before we go to the bicycle, I have to talk about the bookmobile. Now we need to know that story about the bicycle. The bookmobile. At what
Hmm.
age you started? Well, you know, like the age. When you started going to the bookmobile? A
Oh
lot of
gosh,
what grade you were in at primary school? Let me put it that way there. In our
me
age.
remember. Me
Okay.
remember. All I remember is that it coming up there, and I just like to read. So I always wanted to make sure that I was first in line, so I could get the best pickings of books.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and of course, I like the mythology, Greek mythology, Roman mythology, Norse mythology, which is Norse is, I believe, gosh, that's from Norway. Just any of the mythologies was something that I just enjoyed reading.
Okay, so what you saying about like reading? I never like history. I'm not you. You're saying about
No,
like it.
no, no, no. I never liked history. The way they taught history in school was boring.
Okay.
And I mean, even as a young person, I used to question, why am I learning white people history? What happened to our history? I, I had nothing against my Caucasian
The
brothers and sisters, but
Martin Luther King of Pembroke.
yeah, I just always questioned it. So, like when I got to college, I took every Black Studies course that I could
Mm-hmm.
because I wanted to learn more about our people.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So where you got that from, Master? Your parents, or you just that was just it's something in you so you want to learn about the people? Because that's
That was just me.
yeah.
Natural.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That
Yeah.
that is good because a lot.
And and
Yeah, go ahead,
and that
Master.
that
Sorry.
that and that has carried on my entire life. I mean, up to this point, everything. I mean, I sent my daughter, who was born in New York, to a school called Wesley Shule, which was a very Afrocentric oriented school where she got to learn the history of our people and to know who she is, and it has made a tremendous difference to how she views herself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Very
absolutely.
positive impact.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, no, that is interesting. As I say, I never visited that library. I know the library bus used to come around here. It's a red bus, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I remember it, but I don't remember visiting it at all. But for around this sort, I just don't remember. And I never went to
The
Tamarind.
appetite for reading
Not
wasn't
wasn't
peak
there
at
yet,
that
Thumper. I
time.
remember my peers
Yeah.
never want to come out past Calbeck Avenue at all. So yeah.
Yeah. I'm the reverse. I
Ono was
don't
too
read a
busy
lot
playing
now.
football.
Repeat that, Marcia.
Ono was too busy playing football.
Yeah. Well, yeah. When I play football on the road, it's at least we could have do that. Yeah.
Football, dandy shandy,
And everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
hopscotch.
hmm
Hopscotch, yeah.
So, oh, what was it like growing up in a Pembroke as a female? Can you talk about the football, Marcia? And football dominate Pembroke in the early days, where you talk about in the 60s, the late 60s and early 70s before you migrated. What was it like for you? I look on and say the football team, and it's like, what did the girls do? What the girls do? Are them come watch the match? Are them hear about the match? Are were they interested?
Me never come up to the Overland that much. But stayed on my side, you know. I remember when we first moved here, they used to have crab. So them boy would go bush, go catch crab, you know.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I did not go with them. I was not allowed to leave the house. You know, I had to stay home most of the time. The furthest I could go is cross the street to go visit the neighbors, the Browns. Sometime I would go down and go see Marlon and Lloydie. Um, and that was it. So, you know, walk around, just just relax, just being, you know, a kid, you know, just running around, but down on my side, you know, never ventured up to the top at all. Not that much. At least not when I was in primary school. Now, later on, when I went to St. Hugh's, and one day I was walking and I saw my husband decide to stalk him. Of course, he didn't know that he was being stalked. You know, so I would get off the bus at Washington Boulevard by St. Mary's Church
Yeah.
and walk out there to see if I see him. So instead of taking the bus and getting off down in Washington Boulevard down my side, I get off there. So and walk. There's a patty shop. I think it was a
Pete,
TC, whatever patty shop.
Pete's. Pete's in the name, Marcia.
Pete.
Pete's.
Yes. So, you know, I'd walk by there, and one day I saw him, and we started talking. And then the next time again, him and his friend was sitting on the wall. So, you know, and so every morning, every evening after school, instead of getting off the bus, I'd get off by his side because he lived on Pembroke Drive, and I'd pass by his house, you know,
Hmm.
looking to see if I see him. Until eventually one day it was raining, and him say, "Oh, come on, you come on, wait on the veranda," and that's how we
Yeah.
started.
Oh, nice. And I'm sure you're not. I'm sure you're not gonna tell us what year that was. I cannot guess.
I think I was in what, third form at the time.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
You saw your target and you move in and conquered.
say,
of course.
yeah, make a confession, Marcia. I never. So how long were you and what's you and Michael married, Marcia? If you don't mind me asking.
Well, we were married for 10 years.
Okay.
Because what happened? He came over to America before I did, and you know we used to correspond. And then when my mother said, "Okay, you're coming," I said, "I don't want to come no way. I want to stay in Jamaica." But I had no choice, you know. So I came up, and the night I came up, he was waiting at the house for me, you
Wow.
know.
Wow. That was that. I got you. That was nice. That was nice, Martha.
Hmm.
Yeah. So when you why you didn't want to come a foreign at the time? Everybody they look for come a foreign at the early 70s. Why you never want to come?
I love Jamaica. My thought was that I was going to go either to UA or to UTech. You know, if I went to UTech, I would have studied pharmacy. Went to UA, I would have gone to medical school there. You know, so I really I love Jamaica. I didn't want to come.
Mine have
Even in my time, Lance,
yeah.
none of us wanted to leave. Me and Bucket and my brothers, we didn't want to leave. And worse, no, we left a boys' school, gone to a boy and girl school, a campion. We go to six farm a campion. Lord God, man, me no want left. Must have
Yeah,
mad.
when I was there, just because growing up, I was not. My mother and aunt migrated, over to America. So my grandmother was the one that was left in charge of us. But really, it was me who was in charge because, like, when my cousin Patrick was got
Mm-hmm.
out of hand, and me beat him. So me
Right.
regulate, you know.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, but on
So
the
you
right,
still hold that passion for Jamaica?
Absolutely,
You
absolutely.
could see yourself going back there to live?
Ah,
not
that
so
would take some
passionate.
adjustment.
Not so.
It would take some adjustment because the one thing that bothers me is that the Jamaican, the politicians, you know,
Yeah.
they don't have, I don't think they have the best interest of the Jamaican people at heart. You know what I mean? They
Yeah.
pretty much
Well,
them
no
love the
politician
country.
does.
No, right, Phil. I was just going to say that. No
No
politician nowhere,
politician does.
Marcia.
Not nowhere.
Yeah,
You have to make your own life.
yeah, yeah. That is a separate discussion, as you know. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No. So, but no, I remember say in the early 70s, nobody want to leave Jamaica at all. It was before it was little after independence. That was to me at the peak of Jamaica. That if you grew up and you sound like you look older than me, Marcia, you may not want to tell me yet because you sound like my sister them age. My sister was about 10 years
All
older than
right.
me.
How old are you?
I'm 63. I'm
Oh
63.
yeah, you're a baby.
Right.
Lance,
And Jelly, don't
Lance,
take that
read through the
literal,
thing, man.
because
Eh?
I guarantee
You
you,
don't read it, Lance.
Read.
listen, she's no more than probably 4 years older than you, if that. But you know, at
Possible.
Jamaica, if you're a girl that see me, she's going to tell you, say, you're a little boy. Get away.
Where's
A
it?
Well,
big man, them, yeah.
I don't mind telling people my age. I'm 68 years old.
Yeah, man.
Same
68.
thing. You're
That's
4
what I
years,
figure. Yeah.
5 years.
Not
Yeah.
much. Not as well as my sister. My sister them are 10 years and 8 years older than me. So them in them 70s. So yeah. And they went to Merle Group and Meadowbrook. So yeah, like myself. Myself to the Meadowbrook. So yeah. But in the early 70s, I think that was the best time for growing up in Jamaica. Up to 1975 or 76 when the election that changed everything.
Yeah. I
I,
remember when Michael Manley came in and when they instituted
free
what is it?
education.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah. That was monumental. That was a big thing. That was a big thing. I remember that.
Best prime minister.
Yeah, man. I felt that. I remember that like I yesterday. When that we have a PNP come in as 1972, make a big difference to our generation now. Because we are all beneficiaries of it. All of us.
Absolutely.
We are
Absolutely.
all beneficiaries of
But
it.
it's not only we were parents. When him start Jamal, that, because the man I think about uplift the entire society.
Yeah. No. So
I remember when they had what is it, Labor Day?
yeah.
The first Labor Day, and I was in a van going around giving water to the workers.
Yeah.
And there was this Rasta man who had a big spliff in their mouth, and I was very anti-smoking. So I reached over and grabbed the spliff out of the man's mouth. I tell him, you can't smoke this.
No course you.
I don't know if him never kill me. But take away him spliff.
Yes, you look like you're definitely a rebel.
She is Phil.
Very bold.
Yeah.
Very bold.
And this
And
was
up to this
this
day.
was in Pembroke, Marcia.
I'm sorry?
The Labor Day thing you talk about was in Pembroke.
No. It was downtown Kingston.
Okay. So you're out. I don't mean them and you still a test of faith, you know, easy.
Yep.
You sound that way.
I mean, my motto
Mm,
is you ask forgiveness, not permission, and then for whatever it is I do.
Yeah. Definitely. I can understand. So no. So I was saying, yeah, it was the best time for growing up in Jamaica in the early 70s. I get a little light and we get no fight, so I'm not going to complain at all. By 1980, most of that changed, and but that's another story. So I have to come to the bicycle now, Marcia, right?
Mm-hmm.
You learn to ride on a man bicycle with us. You kind of that ladies wheel bicycle. I
was with my cousin's bicycle. He's a boy. I don't have him have a ladies' wheel bicycle.
Yeah.
But but I wanted to ride, so what I do, I hold on. We go on the bicycle, hold on to the burglar bar until we learn to balance, and then we push off.
Yeah.
And start ride. I mean,
Yeah.
I still ride now.
Mm-hmm. And the bicycle, but you're big enough for the bicycle could have ride it.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. I hear you. Yeah, man. That's something else I'm doing. I
That
said, such a thing, man, but don't squeeze up. That's something else I'm on, but they must have shy.
Don't squeeze up your balls. I mean, I used to just look on them.
That's some,
yeah, well, you might try to open the gate.
yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
That's all that is.
Might break the ice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For want of a better term.
So,
So,
so
Marcel, how did you view the football in Pembroke, or were you exposed to it?
I would pass by there and the boy them would say, and we attacked on me.
But that's what I'm saying, because a lot of women used to come to check out the guys' physique,
Yeah.
and watch them run up and down and break a sweat.
Yeah. I
So
wasn't
I was
interested in
wondering
any of
if you
them.
were one of them.
No, I was not interested in any of them
no,
because
cause,
I was tush. Okay.
no,
Oh, say okay.
no, but you don't tell her it's only like
Jelly,
Michael.
what happened? Our mother make the wrong stop. Our mother stopped too early when she turned in a Pembroke.
No,
She carry on
there
further
wasn't
beyond
anything
the field.
further field.
Yeah.
Never upper top yet.
Well, you're probably a right thumper, because next thing you know, she would have been your neighbor.
Yes.
And you guys will be playing volleyball, not football.
We'll be playing badminton over there.
See? No, I know this guy is a real uptown guy. Badminton.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
No, man, she only had eyes to Michael, man. That's Michael used to live at Pembroke. That is near you, pan CHIPPENHAM.
No, he lived up after he passed the open down where you guys played.
Yeah,
He
man.
lived up there, up on that side, on the right hand side.
Oh,
Yeah.
So if you don't mind me asking, then you guys were married up until his death?
No, we were married for 10 years.
Yeah.
I trained him and then he went on to his other wife.
Oh, you're trading the Toyota for Mercedes.
No, she
No,
trained
I
him, Phil.
trained
She trained him. Yeah, she trained him.
Oh,
yeah,
you trained him.
otherwise.
Oh, so I guess my assessment is accurate then.
Yeah, after a while we became like oil and water.
Yeah.
So it wasn't gonna last.
Yeah, man, that time.
Right. Cannot ban him.
Yeah.
But me and his wife, his last wife, we're good friends,
Yeah.
Oh, not a Pembroke Heights though.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Well, that's the story of life at times.
So,
yeah, absolutely.
So, who are some of the other friends that had at Pembroke? I know the Briscoes them live on CHIPPENHAM.
No, I don't remember them.
I don't remember them at all.
There was this guy named Everton
Oh, Briscoe
Armstrong.
live on Petterton. Briscoe live on Petterton. Sorry.
He lived on the bottom of Chippenham. Let's see, who else I remember there? No, other than the people I mentioned. Oh, Marva, of course. You guys know Marva.
Rodney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, her father and my aunt were good friends. So, we'd come up there. As a matter of fact, last year, Marva and I reconnected, at a Casey picnic.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like, we're still kids, taught the same way, everything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know too many other boys,
Yeah.
other than the few I mentioned, and Michael and Leonard Green, Freddie Green.
I was gonna ask you because I know Michael and Freddie and Johnny Green were good friends, So Freddie was my next door neighbor, Freddie and Johnny. Yeah, man. Freddie and Johnny was my next door.
So you see that she definitely has a taste for uptown.
Exactly.
It was an accident that she ended up downtown Pembroke.
She come early, me telling her, man. She come early to Pembroke.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate situation.
Yeah.
And then there was this other friend, Dr. Lindo Chimpy. I don't know if you know him.
Yeah, man. Chimpy, I'm a bona fide man. George's boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Chimpy.
I remember he and I studying for O levels. He would come down and sit down on the veranda. I would be out there studying.
You say she really know a whole heap of uptown boys.
Yeah, man, listen.
Well, like we say, The TS is inevitable.
Let me tell you.
Yeah, I don't know how I didn't know you guys, you know.
We younger. Younger. You might know my brothers, but me
You're
younger.
not going to look in
The
our
Kamika.
No,
direction
not
because
all,
you're gonna
Marcia.
say
We are look up
you're
boy
gonna
at
say
the
we are
side.
in puberty.
Yeah, man.
Uh,
They look down on us and look up boy them,
Listen, it's one thing I know for a fact in Jamaica, and I said it earlier. If you and a woman is the same age and you look at you going to say a little boy, especially primary and high school years, like forget it.
Not now, though,
yeah.
Phil. Not now.
No, Jelly. Remember, we have the rise of the cougars now, so
Hey,
you
hey, hey,
know,
hey.
on top of that,
Yeah.
the women them want vitality.
Yeah. They want younger men. You can't blame them. Can't blame them at all, Phil. So,
Well,
Marcia.
Thank you.
that's we want younger women. Look at Bill Belichick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. I was just watching a program with that where they did an interview with his girlfriend Jordan. And she cut the interview short.
Yeah,
Wow.
With Jordan
But
guy.
that's like that's the
Michael
girlfriend named
Jordan,
Jordan.
because
No,
I
no,
think.
the
Mike.
girl named Jordan something or
Oh
other.
right,
No,
yeah,
Bill
yeah, yeah.
Jenny.
You're
Belichick
right. You're
wife.
right.
Bill
The girl
Yeah.
Belichick
that
girl.
Belichick, yeah.
Yeah.
Cause she like half his age.
Which half of me, Phil?
No, man.
I'm
She's
granddaughter
she's
that,
20.
Phil. I'm
No,
granddaughter.
no, she's 24 years old. She's a
Yes,
baby.
I'm almost 80.
No man, I thought she was 35.
No, Phil.
No, she's
No.
24.
No, Phil.
Damn, that's crazy. That is crazy because he probably got nieces and nephew older than that.
No, that's
Yes.
his great granddaughter. That's his granddaughter.
Forget about daughter. He can't even couldn't even have a daughter that young. I probably
No, granddaughter.
infertile by the time.
So she was in an interview recently, Marcia. That's what I said.
I was just listening to something on TV earlier this evening.
Yeah, that is a train wreck about that.
Yeah, because somebody asked him about it. I saw an interview where they asked him about it, and it's like he was trying to justify it, like and saying like it's more than physicality, and she help him with his paperwork stuff.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
please,
Mm-hmm.
you mean just train you? That's about it.
Phil, help him with the social media post. Yeah, that some need a Cuban with me. That him get that help that Phil. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, among other things.
All right. No gone.
We are not deep now. Marcia, apologies here. I saw we got sometime.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a
It's
question.
crazy, though. It's really crazy, that situation.
Let me ask you a question.
Even
Yeah, go ahead, Phil. Finish up.
no, I was just adding another. Al Pacino is another one, but continue with the
Yeah,
conversation.
no. What I asked Marcia, no, I met you at the function, the Pembroke function.
Right.
What motivated you to come to the function?
My fast.
You fast? So what you hear about it? I'm curious.
Marva Rodney told me about it. And then I was talking to Michael London, and he had mentioned that you guys had, I think, did a interview with him.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I'm talking to him all the while, man. Boy, I say, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A long interview with him. I didn't know you know him so good, so yeah.
Oh man, oh yeah, we used to stop at Crossroads because, of course, I'm 5'2" and he's 6. What Michael was 6'5", so I would be on the step above him, so at least it wouldn't look so bad. As a matter of fact, he just told me today that his mother is getting ready to transition.
Oh,
You know?
really? Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he says she's 98 years old.
Wow.
Well,
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
that's a blessing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not from ailment, though, just natural.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I didn't ask him.
Oh, okay.
And he was telling me that he just finished writing his book now.
Yeah, he told me about that. So I tell him, so when I'm ready for come back, come broadcast and book it for come call me and make a talk about.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No,
Yeah.
man, we had a very long conversation with him, man. Long. I had to split it up in about 2 or 3 parts. So yeah. Yeah, man. And I talk to him every now and then I will call him. So what impression
So
you got?
Marcia, you didn't know Gil Fillion at St. Jude?
His sister Anne Marie when she was a year behind.
Yeah, Anne Marie.
But I didn't know him.
Okay, but Anne Marie was behind you.
Yes, she was behind me. And then who was for Howard Ramsey? I don't know. He went to Calabar as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's a Bertie you talk about, Thumper. Bertie
and Bertie's sister.
Yeah.
The older one.
Yeah, she went to St. Jude's. One of them went to St.
Yeah,
Louis.
man.
Yeah, okay,
Your
okay.
two sisters went to St.
The
Louis.
younger one, yeah.
Yeah.
So, what impression you got, Marcia, for come to a Pembroke reunion? And this is our third year, what is something? What impression
I
you
had a
got?
great time. Of course, I like to dance, so me not have no problem. I get up and dance by myself.
Yeah.
And
Well,
yeah,
I think women are accustomed to that anyway.
yeah, we're uninhibited. Jamaican men, as my girlfriend said, "Uno must all gay cause uno stay in a corner and dance for themselves, hold one beer."
Well, it's not really that, I think it's a time, well, it depends on the type of Jamaican men, because when you got dance, it's a different thing.
Yeah.
The uptown woman, the uptown man, them not really know that, but the downtown man, them will want to put a woman against a wall. Like, him not go back down from the dancing, because they're different.
Marcia might not know about that at all. That's a different.
No, I didn't. No,
No, she
I didn't
must say
go.
too
I didn't.
touch for that.
I remember Pembroke used to have street dance, independence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not even a dance. That's was like with a, what them call them, junkin on them things.
Now one they have street dance, Phil. We have street dance. I don't remember going, but I remember the street dance.
In Pembroke,
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a street dance in Pembroke, but down
Independence
in
dance,
the
Phil,
Homeland on the bottom.
like Independence
Bottom
dance.
Homeland.
But we don't used to keep Marcia.
Down the Homeland down the bottom, across from
The school.
Pembroke Primary School. Yeah.
Yeah, man. In front of the pastry shop after a while. Yeah. I didn't know that. I know they used to have that, but I didn't know what they used to keep. Yeah. So I'm glad you came, Marcia. I'm glad Marva inspired you to come and you come and enjoy yourself. And we are hope to make it get bigger and better go forward. So
Yes. Yeah. I haven't gone back to Jamaica in years, and when I did go back, I was in Negril. I didn't come into Kingston.
that's what I was also planning to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
If you go back, if you visit regular and if you go to Pembroke, like try and visit childhood friends that still live there.
So
No, anybody that I knew don't live there anymore. In fact, the last time that I did go back and looked at the house where I used to live, it was looking pretty decent. My auntie sold it,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Okay.
So you sound like you still have a good feeling for Pembroke, although you live there for about just
Oh
10.
yeah, oh absolutely.
And why I think that is?
Absolutely.
Why I think that is? Because we have the same feeling for
Because
Pembroke,
we were a community, everybody watched out, for the kids, make sure so we don't get in trouble.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
not we, because I was always a good kid.
Perfect example of it takes a village to raise a child.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Pembroke is different.
And it was safe, you don't have to worry so anybody going to hold you up,
Yeah, well,
back
the
in those days.
protector.
I mean, I remember walking from where I live, go down to Duane Park, and walking on Washington Boulevard.
Yeah.
Nobody bother you.
No,
And I'm walking by myself.
the only fear
You
I had
cannot
was to
do
cross.
that today.
The only fear I had was to cross Washington Boulevard. I had a phobia for that. Because the amount of people get licked up.
Yeah?
Yeah, man. Yes, Phil.
I mean, I almost got hit by an M-bus one time over 10 cents fell out my pocket. I almost take off my head. A M-bus.
What's that M-bus? Remind me.
Jelly, oh, scone.
Phone up, Phil.
JOS bus, the M-bus, the square one and
The
with a
short
double
one,
wheel.
Miata? The potty one?
No, man. Remember the M-bus where it like it's narrow and tall, and the front glass is not one glass, it's like two glass.
Some point
That was
when-
the Jolly Joseph bus you talking?
The Jolly bus are the first one, them. The
bigger one.
But the M-bus, yeah, the M-bus was a newer one, them.
Oh,
What
I
come
know that.
after that?
I must have left then.
You
I
left,
know-
if you left 74, that, because
Yeah.
when you left, it was a Jolly bus.
Right. Yeah,
The
no,
original
no, no,
bus.
It's
That's
not
the
the potty
original.
pan. It's not
Yeah,
the
Yeah,
potty
but I
come
pan.
park
remember
up
going
right,
there.
I feel.
Yeah.
The 41 come park up right at the
No,
Pembroke
I don't know
field.
about the M-bus, Phil.
That
I
are,
never
the
call it
M-bus
that, but
jelly,
you know
that
what
are
I'm
like, that I think early 80s.
Yeah.
It's square
Okay.
up, man. I know what you're
So,
talking.
late 70s.
Late
I'll
Because
before-
that
Me know
happened to
it-
me.
How before the $250,000 that, Phil?
Yeah,
Yes,
the
yes.
$250,000 a new bus jelly.
$250,000
$250,000 was in
84.
the 90s.
No,
I
man.
think at 9.
No, for the quarter, we get quarterman at 84, man. And I hear,
84,
yeah,
yeah?
man, I 84, man. Remember, I get the small bus from 83, you know, just a
Yeah,
place old.
you're right,
So I
boy.
84, time just
Time, this,
fly.
the element that. Yeah, that means that the emboss side of cars. Yeah, I from probably the 70s. Can remember when me I
Yeah,
got
man, I know which
KC.
one you talk, man. I
When
know
me I
which
got
one you talk.
KC, I when them come out.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
you went to KC?
yeah, they're nothing but the best.
Fortis forever, huh?
Listen, yeah, man, are the greatest. And the other day, my sister sent me a picture. She had drive and see a guy have a bumper sticker say, the brave to the grave. So she says only a cultist can understand this. So I tell her, I say, listen, it's not my fault. You have never been a part of greatness. If you have been a part of greatness, you would understand.
So you're 100% Jewish girl who feel the same way, Marcia, but the
She's a
forties.
sister. Saint
Yeah,
was our sister.
Okay.
yeah, sister's cool. Yeah, yeah. My uncle. I don't know if you know him name. Errol Honeyme. Him used to go KC. He was in the choir.
You used to live at Pembroke?
Well, him used to come and check him wife. She used to live on. I think she lived on the same street with Marva.
Okay,
Which
okay.
I didn't know that she lived there. You know.
Okay.
And then he would always come and visit me because he claimed he was my surrogate father.
Yeah.
As my father left and went to England when I was I think either 2 or 3 years old. So I never really knew him.
You ever had any desire to go to England?
Never. Although I've been there. I've been there twice. The first time I didn't really like it that much. Second time
Yeah,
I enjoyed the different restaurants because England has so many now since they're a colonial power. I mean they have all
yeah,
these different countries and
yeah.
their people. So
The
the cuisine was
different
wonderful.
ethnicities.
Hmm?
A lot of different ethnicity.
Yes, yeah. But when I like English food, the first time I went, usually you go on vacation, you gain weight. I went on vacation and I lost weight.
Yeah,
I couldn't eat for them food.
right.
Yeah.
So
Too
that was a
bland.
plus then.
It was
Mm-hmm.
it was too
Because no woman wants to gain weight.
it
No.
was it was too cold for me, Marcia. I went to
Oh,
England in I, I think 2007 or 8. I went to a funeral, but it was so cold my foot to my freeze off.
oh
But
wow.
it was really not winter
Yeah.
fit. This was not July cold.
Well, it always, you don't say it, even one name the Chelsea coach are complain about the heat to the football.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause England don't really get hot like crazy hot, you know.
Yeah.
Well, when I went, it was hot because I thought it was going to be cold, so I carried sweaters, and I went in I think it's a June or July, and it was hot. So made a bun up.
Yeah, in a June or July, I mean, I said can't get that.
Yeah, but I've never even heard England experiencing 100 degrees, honestly.
No, it wasn't that hot. The second time
Right.
when I went there, it
Are
was a lot of rain.
extended
And
heat.
Right. Because like I had a lot of friends that even people in the military that in a Jamaica in a JDF where they went there and train and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that especially the overcast condition.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
all is
that was
cloudy.
depressing.
All
He
is
said
cloudy.
that's why you see some that's why people say when you go England you get crazy because it's like depressing.
Yes.
But you remember when you go to Palazitos Airport and you see the people them leaving and them have on them coat them winter coat and
Yeah.
Yeah.
gloves.
I
Yeah.
like when everybody do their mink on the straw. Remember everybody that
Yes.
go to the airport and have on a mink.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
yeah.
But so Marcia, when you migrated to the US in 74, what city you came
Mhm.
to? Did you
I came to
acclimatize?
Brooklyn. When I came to JFK, I was 17 years old, and so I came. I had on a maxi skirt and a halter top, and this was December 15th. So
Uh-oh.
my mother said, "Here, take this coat." I said, "I'm not in the coat. I'm fine." And I'm tell you, I went through the revolving door. I'm gonna go outside, and I came right back through the revolving door again. I said, "I take the coat, thank you."
Yeah. Cool.
Because of course at 17 you think you know everything, So
Right,
but I'm
right.
telling you, not business.
Yeah. Yeah. So you came and you went to school, you went to college back?
Yeah. I went straight to college. I started college February 75. I went to Brooklyn College.
And you talk about it and you the bio said, talk about that a little. You had a passion for the science, so you wanted. Or you wanted to
Yeah,
be a
yeah.
doctor first, you said. You wanted to be a
Yes,
doctor.
yes. I wanted to be a doctor. So I was a biology major, minor in chemistry, and I was also pre-med. So taking all the required science courses to get into medical school. We had an organization called the National Black Science Students Organization, and
Yeah.
it was just made up of Caribbean people. I don't think we didn't have any Black Americans
American
in it,
song.
just pure Caribbean people, from the different
Yeah.
countries. And we all
Yeah.
bonded and studied together. And all of them, they became, I think most of them became doctors. One became dentist, one became an optometrist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know.
So when you came to New York in the 70s, there were a lot of Pembroke people there you meet. I never buck up the Pembroke people at all.
Besides my husband, Mackie,
Yeah.
no, I didn't
Mm.
really see anybody else.
Well, apart from him. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I got you. So
Uh,
what?
how was life in how was life in New York?
I was always going to party, the basement party.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Shaggy from the Sean Paul song.
Oh,
Appear them party that we used to go, man. Basement party.
Oh, so you get acclimatized
so,
and,
so
and start love it then, Marcia. All you never
Yeah,
want go.
I tell you that the first day that I went to college, this white guy streaked across the campus, totally naked. So that was a shock.
In the winter, or it
your
was
first experience
In
with
the
the human
winter, yes,
anatomy.
yeah man.
yes,
In the winter.
in the winter.
Yeah.
Yeah man.
Well, like I tell everyone, when you come here, you come to a university. You're gonna
True.
see from the most normal thing to the most abnormal thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Marcia, you ventured into other boroughs like Bronx, or were you like a we stayed?
I went to really
Ma-
went to the Bronx or Queens.
Right.
I just stayed in Brooklyn, and of
Yeah,
Yeah.
course
Brooklyn was the pop.
I'm a water person. So like in the summertime, I go to Coney Island Beach and go be in that dirty water,
Oh, you
Yeah.
did. Wow.
dirty and cool,
I
but no
Yeah.
tell you, I went
perspiration.
one time and I'm from a seat. I said, no man, I'm not mad.
And a
In
pizza
the summer,
thumper,
when you
no
touch the
see.
water,
And that's the thing with me, From I come here, I say I would never go in any water up here for more
Phil,
reasons.
we
More
put my
reasons
foot
than
tonight.
one. Yeah.
We put my foot tonight, man. Me
Yeah.
say,
Cold
it
thumper.
make me think say Jamaica water go cool too when I go down in the
Mhm.
summer.
Yeah
Yeah.
man, yeah. No man,
Then imagine the polar bear club.
Right?
Imagine that.
And
no.
Absolute madness.
When
the
me come
Green
to
Bay
Florida,
fans.
and I must Florida have nice beach, and me go Daytona, I'm go Cocoa Beach. I'm go me I say, what the beach there? Cause like me I say
Yeah.
black
Uh,
sand and all them things.
yeah.
But say me that, and them want to bring me up on them call the Gulf of America, them days, the Gulf Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
Uh,
Gulf of America, right? Thanks
listen,
to
he's being misled. Excuse him.
that's their president, not mine.
Yeah. Well, it is president, so that's understandable.
no,
But
so
I mean,
Marcia, how long you living in Florida?
oh, let's see. We moved down to Florida in 1985. I mean, even today,
Oh, so you never.
right now I'm in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina,
Yeah.
right? This morning I get up and I went down by the beach. I put my foot in the water. I say, this is as far
Mm,
as I'm going here.
too cold
yeah.
still cold, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's probably in the about
Mm-hmm.
75,
Listen,
76 degrees.
right now the feel like temperature is over 100, and then come Friday it's gonna be 73.
I mean, where you would have
So
feel?
go figure.
In a Jersey?
Yeah.
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 But the what?
Right now right now I probably about I must say, right now I probably about 90.
No, man, it's
90 right now at 90 degrees.
yeah, it's hot up there. But
Wow.
the water gonna
Yeah,
cold
and it
still
feel
feel.
like 102. It's
The,
90 and it feel like tomorrow it's gonna be 102.
Where?
But then
in
come
Jersey.
In
Friday at
Jersey?
Yeah.
72.
Oh, okay.
So
Wow.
it's an inconsistency.
But
Yeah.
the water gonna still cold, man. The water gonna
Yeah,
still
man.
cold.
Let me
Cold.
not tell
Yeah.
you, man.
I'm afraid of a cold water like post. But
But
growing up in
because the
Jamaica,
reason
of
why
course.
I ask you know is because
Mhm.
you say you love the party thing. So and you know New York period, Brooklyn, Bronx, Queens. In terms of entertainment, I don't think it can get any better than New York City. So I was surprised that you left there so long ago. Basically, you did 11 years in New York then.
10 years in New York, and then I came down to Florida in
Uh,
1985, and I've been here ever since.
and you prefer Florida?
In many respects, I mean, I one of my most the favorite places for me in New York was the Museum of Natural History. I like
Okay,
visiting
Mm.
yeah,
the Metropolitan Museum, so
Yeah,
I
yeah,
right.
spent
yeah.
quality time at the Museum of Natural History. Took my older daughter there when she was small. The younger one when we came down to Florida, the younger one was a couple months old. So she never
Marcia,
Yeah,
got that
do you
experience.
remember, Marcia, you remember if those, because for some reason I remember a lot of the museums were either free or very inexpensive
They were
during those.
free. They
They
were
were
free at
free,
the
right?
time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
So Phil, so what we
yeah,
used to do in college, we used to go on dates to the museum because
yeah.
it was cheap. You just take a train, go down in Manhattan,
You're right.
and you go to the
The,
museum. Them,
the
you know.
cheapest way to break the ice.
Exactly.
And the
Yeah, man.
museum.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
cut them free.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Right, Jelly. You forget creative when it comes to finance,
Yeah, man.
especially where women are concerned.
yeah, man.
Exactly.
I hear you.
Tell them
I
meet.
hear you.
You tell them meet you inside a Caribbean.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
See, it's a veteran talking.
So
That's
I
what
just
we
said
used
that.
to do, man.
Which theater is better, Carib or Regal?
Carib.
Carry
Carib, man.
better,
Carib
Hey,
man.
have the
hey,
Regal is
roast
for
beef
certain
listen.
sandwich. What
things.
wrong with it, man? It have the best
Regal is for
roast beef
certain
sandwich
things.
in the world.
Come again,
Hey, you
Thumper.
remember going to Boulevard
The
Drive-In and sitting
best
on the wall
roast beef
watching the show?
sandwich in the world.
A Regal or a Carib?
Carib. Carib.
Carry.
Okay, okay.
Uh, yeah, man.
Remember for years,
I
Carib.
remember.
Yeah, yeah, go ahead, Master. Sorry.
I remember when you remember when Blackula came out, the movie
Mm-hmm.
Blackula,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and there was this guy. Oh, his name Danny Demetrius. He lived down on my side, and him come up behind me and him bite me on my neck. I'm gonna pass out immediately.
There's the three theater them, State, Regal, and Carry are different attract. Like State was
Yes.
famous for kickers,
Kickers.
Regal
Yeah.
was for action, and Carry was for like suspense and drama movie and stuff, jazz and all them thing. But kickers, yeah, every man flock to State Theater.
Yeah, man.
So you remember the Boulevard driving, Marcia?
Oh yeah, yeah. I remember sitting on the wall and watching the show.
I mean, what I
Can't hear
get?
no sound.
No,
Can't
yes.
hear no sound, but watching what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah,
and
you'd
then
have to carry a transistor radio for do that. Cause we used to do that.
oh, I didn't know
Even
that.
Yeah, man. You could have pick up
yeah
the
man. Even
frequency.
Harbour View driving.
You pick up the
Yeah.
frequency. Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
when you migrated, Marcia, Boulevard Drive was still open?
Yes, it was still open.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh,
74.
really?
I never went to Harborview Drive-In because, of course, me never have the boyfriend with car.
Be careful,
Nor
man.
did I get to Burnham Field either.
No, believe me,
Never go watch the car
that's
racing.
one place I don't know why I used to like Sharna, but I've never been there. Vernon Field. Never.
Hmm.
No. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uptown people them that.
Uptown, yeah. Yes, so Marcia, you seem to have a very interesting career because you were a scientist first. You were part of
Yes.
the team where involved in the patent for the HIV. I don't want to say, yeah, the HIV virus, the patent, the cure field.
Okay. Well, no.
Tell me, yeah,
Um,
go through that. Tell
you
me
know,
how that go.
all right. So what happened after I decided that I didn't want to go to medical school? I said, all right, let me go, see what the real work is like, doing research.
And
So
hold on, Marcia, for the record, why you never want to go medical school? I change your mind.
no, no. What happened is that I had an opportunity to go into a 7-year program at Boston College, BA and medical degree. So my aunts friend's son came to talk to me because he was already in the program. And my mother said, "No, you can't go to Boston." She didn't want me to be far. So I didn't go. But then after that, one day I was in biology class in the lab, and when I came out, there was a human head in a jar that was split down the middle. So you see, half of the face and the nose, and it
Yeah.
freaked me out. You know. Oh, the cemetery I was talking was Maypen Cemetery. Remember Maypen Cemetery?
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
man. That
Yeah, that's the cemetery.
Spanish
Yeah,
Town
Now, the
Road.
Maypen Cemetery, that is Spanish Town
Spanish
Road
Town
by
Road.
Tivoli.
Pantown Road. Yes, yes. I
Right
used
next
to
to
live.
Tivoli.
Yes, I used to live close to that cemetery. The Fitzgerald Lane
Yeah.
was
Fitzgerald
close
Road.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
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 yeah, man.
yeah. So anyway,
Mm.
when I saw the head, I realized, I can't handle the cadaver.
Oh, so the traumatic experiences of medicine is what. Because I always say that, like, even a friend of me and Lance, Dr. Palmer, I used to tell him, I say, you guys supposed to have it easy to mutilate people. Like, no, I cannot watch, like, hospital shows, like, say, Chicago Med and those things when they're showing you inside of, like, they're operating on somebody and it's opened up. It's
Yeah.
disgusting.
I mean that
I
too.
can't,
We
I don't
can't
like to
watch
see
it.
those things.
Yeah.
It
So
turned me
continue,
head.
Marcia. So that turn you off.
Yeah. So that turned me off. So you know what? I'm a forward looking person. So I went to Brooklyn Jewish Hospital, to the volunteer department. I said, "Hey, I want to work in a lab." So them say, "Okay." So they put me in the cytogenetics lab, which is cytogenetics is the study of human chromosomes. And so what would happen is that sometimes we would have like a baby would be born abnormal, sure what's going on, or you can't tell the sex because the organs didn't really form properly. So we would get the baby's blood and grow the
Yeah.
cells out of that, and then would study what the chromosomes look like to see if there was a translocation or something. Sometimes when kids, like if Down syndrome,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes the baby was born not sure if they have Down syndrome. So then we go to chromosomes, look at them, grow the cells rather, and how it works is that you get the blood cell and you grow it in we call it medium, and then you would birth it so that the chromosomes would scatter, and then from that you could look at the chromosomes. So like somebody with Down syndrome, it's called trisomy 21, chromosome 21. You have three sets as opposed to two. So that's what caused the malformation, the physical malformation in the kid, as well as the mental malformation as well. So I did that for a while, and what happened is that director saw the potential in me and said, "All right, let's do a research project." So we ended up developing a technique for the staining of the human chromosome so that we could identify any translocation on the chromosome.
Yeah. So what eventually led you to be part of the patent for the HIV?
Okay, all right. So after that, my boss asked me where I wanted to go work after I finished school. So I said, I want to work at Sloan Kettering Institute for Cancer Research. So, sometimes God places you in the right place at the right time. So an
Mm-hmm.
opportunity come up and you recognize it. So it so happens that the postdoctoral student in the lab where I was, his wife worked at Sloan Kettering. So it made a connection there and went to Sloan Kettering. As a matter of fact, while I was working at Sloan Kettering, that was Bob Marley was over in the hospital side. I know that. And that's when he had the cancer. So we worked on something called monoclonal antibodies. Mono meaning one, antibody. So where you
Yeah.
take a cell and grow it, and then it would produce antibodies. The antibodies from that they use to develop a kit to identify feline leukemia virus, which is a virus in cats, which they use today, to so that you can tell if a cat has basically cancer. And
Mm-hmm.
then some of that antibodies, the guy across the way, because scientists would collaborate with each other, would exchange materials. So some of what we had, the guy took it and they used that to identify the HIV virus.
Mm-hmm.
That is Dr. Bob Gallo. So then after that, no, I went to go work at Hoffman LaRoche. And well, look home and say, hey, these people doing clinical research because I was still working in the lab. So I wanted to get out and work in the lab. So I said, all right, clinical research looked like an avenue that would be of interest. And with clinical research, you travel all over the country, So I didn't get an opportunity there. But later on in 85, when I migrated and came down to Florida, at that time, my daughter, my second child, was a couple months old, but I was bored because I didn't know anybody. So a recruiter come and say, "There's a job for you here if you're interested." So I went, and there it turned out fine. I worked in a lab where we would take Indium 111, which is a radioisotope, hook it onto the antibody, and use that to they used it to diagnose liver carcinoma, which is liver cancer. And that technique is actually used today to and has been expanded to be able to identify different kind of cancers in humans. And then on top of that, when HIV was just coming into being, so again we use antibodies from that to develop a kit to diagnose the HIV virus. So I've done a lot of research, with HIV.
Right.
So
Wow.
Also,
yeah, go ahead.
no, I was just saying your career is really in lab work then.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
for a number of years. It was lab
Up
work,
to a
and then
point, Phil, to transition
yeah,
again.
and then
Yeah.
after that, I was in the lab working, and I said, hey, the point I reached a point where it was either go get my doctorate, and of course, with getting a doctorate, you have to do postdoc work, which means that you're going to be some
That,
renowned scientist, slave for a number of years to establish your name in whatever field you're doing. So I looked
right.
at that and I said, I don't think I want to do this. So at that time, Reagan had just fired all air traffic controllers.
Mm-hmm.
So me and my friend who was thinking along the same line as me, just said, hey, let's go see what air traffic control is all about. Let me tell you something. So we went into the tower, the air traffic control tower, and when we look on the screen and see a little blip, blip, blip them, and and vectors and stuff, I said, nah, that's not for me.
Mm.
So at that point, I said, you know what? I'm going to law school. So that's what I did.
I'm just to the record, Marcia. How old you were in the side for go last school?
I was in my 30s.
Wow. You make a big transition. So continue,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So with going to law school, of course, you give up your job because you can't work the first year and go to law school. It is just so intense with the reading and everything that you have to do. So when I went to law school, I'd gotten divorced. I got divorced in February, and I started law school that August. So it was me. I had a 7-year-old daughter, and the other one, the little one was probably, I think she was maybe 3. So I had to live on my savings, and I got a little child support. I had to fly to get the child support, and on food stamps, and that's how I made it through law school.
So Marcia, so you funded most of your education.
Well, I had scholarships and student loans and my
Okay.
savings because I had a
Yes.
house, so I had to pay the mortgage, you know.
Right.
So I did whatever I could to get through. And
Yeah.
funny, I never thought in terms of failure, that I
Right.
would make it. I just did it.
Right. Right.
I mean, there were times I took my little daughter took with me to school. She sat in the class with me because I didn't have anybody to leave her with.
Mm-hmm.
But it worked out for you, right?
Yes, it worked
All
out.
right. All
After,
right. So then it's
yeah,
worth the sacrifice.
yeah. After I
Nice.
graduated from law school, I went to Nova, Southeastern, in Davie. And
Right.
after I
Yeah,
graduated,
yeah.
I had a choice. I could either go back into science or go pursue law. But at that time, there was no mentor to really say, hey, these are the opportunities that you can have in law. And
Mm-hmm.
what was there was most of the Black people, Black law students, ended up going to the
Immigration
state
law.
attorney, no, state
Right.
attorney's
Oh, state
office or the
attorney.
public
Yeah.
defender's office.
Yes.
So me being who I am, I was also the president of the Black Law School association. You know, I was very active and also the treasurer for the student bar association. I control the money.
Mm.
You know, and made sure that it's just in me to be involved in whatever. Because even back in college, we were protesting. Back in those days, they were shutting down the Black Studies department, and while some of my other student colleagues were locking down the campus, I decided to go join the student union organization, student government, and was part of the group that was responsible for funding. So I made sure that the Black organizations on campus got their share of the money. Okay. So I like working from within the system to dismantle the system or to make the
Yeah.
system better. You know, so after when I came to law school, I had all these student loans to pay, kids to take care of. So one day I was just looking through the newspaper and I saw a job for a clinical research scientist. So I said, okay, I'm gonna go apply. You know, so I applied and I got the job and I started working for this company called IVAC. And my boss, I guess he saw something in me, so he decided to put me in charge of the project team for this drug called Elmaron, which is a drug for this disease called interstitial cystitis, which is inflammation of the lining of the bladder in women, where they get burning and constantly have to urinate. So it made their life very, very uncomfortable. Can
Yeah.
you imagine? You have to go to the bathroom, go urinate every half an hour.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
It
Would
limited
have
you.
while experiencing a burning sensation.
Yes, like a urinary tract infection.
Yeah,
What's the name?
yeah,
What's the
Worse.
name, Marcia? What's the name of that infection?
Interstitial cystitis.
Okay, that's very unusual thing. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah. So with working on that drug,
So hold on. This is
I was
so this you got the job as a research scientist based on your
yes, I
scientific
got
qualification or not on your law
yeah
qual?
based on my scientific qualification and of course having law was I was very unique. I mean, there were people there who were more experienced than me, having done they did clinical research for a long time. But as I said, my boss saw something in me and just said, "Hey, you go ahead the team." So
Mm-hmm.
I became the
Yeah.
project manager for that, you know, and I was responsible. It's funny because my boss, he was the medical director for that program. So he reported to me in terms of the project, but
Mm-hmm.
I reported to him in terms of getting
The funding.
increase salary increases, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah.
then I had, so being as the head of the team, I had to go before the senior management, including Dr. Frost, who was the owner of the company, and tell him how the project was going. Now, I had no experience doing this kind of work. I asked my
Yeah.
boss, I said, why you put me in charge? I don't know nothing about this. He said, because you can, you know. So what I had to do,
You saw the potential in you.
I had to use my legal background. Okay,
Right.
and with drug research, you know, it's a lot of federal regulations. So what I did, I mean, I just we had to write something called the investigation before brochure. It's like when you get a drug and you see that pamphlet that they give you,
Yes.
which tells you, you know, my work. That was my work, writing that stuff. So what I did is I looked at the federal regulations and just tracked it and wrote based on the regulation as to what to put into this document.
Right.
So eventually, when everything was put together, um, all the submission was made to the FDA. All right. So what happened is that we had to go to an FDA meeting because some of the data wasn't as clean as it should be. So I flew up the day, you know, and of course met a junior person, so me not talk. And everybody, you know, the vice president get up and talk to the FDA inspectors and everything. And I'm sitting in the background and listening. I'm saying, really, this is interesting because really we should have done further work before the submission, but because the company had spent so much money already
Right.
buying this product from another company who had told them that yes, it was ready for submission, which it really wasn't. All right.
Mm.
So went through that. So the head of the company said, hey, we're going back, we're flying back to Miami. Why don't you have a corporate jet? Why don't you fly back with us? I said, sure. Let me tell you something. When we're going on the plane and see how nice it look, let us seat and everything, I say, you know what? I could learn to enjoy this life.
Mm-hmm.
You get that, you
Yes.
get wheeled in, you get attracted to it.
Absolutely. Then we came back to the Opelika airport. There was a limousine waiting to pick us up. My car was at the Miami airport, so them driving up, pick up my car. And, so several months later, the drug got approved.
Mm-hmm.
And to this day, I mean, it was the first and only FDA approved drug for this company.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
And
yeah. So, mhm. Go ahead.
are they existing still, that company?
No, they sold their company to Teva
Okay.
Pharmaceutical, which what Teva does is that they do more generic drugs,
Drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and then the actual drug itself, Elmaron was I think it was sold to another company in Israel.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, yeah. So when did you transition to start using up your law degree? It
Law.
look like that you do
All
mostly
right.
now.
Yeah. So so what happened? I mean, I stayed in clinical research for a number of years, working for different companies, on different drugs. I actually worked on the Viagra clinical trial, which was very interesting because with that, the patients had to keep a diary. That first, they had to have a consistent sexual partner, and then they
Mm-hmm.
had to keep a diary every time they had sexual activity. They had to
Mm.
record it. So it was very interesting reading diaries and seeing what these men wrote. Right. So at one particular site in Fort Myers, the wife came to the site and asked them to tell the man to get the man to stop taking the drug. So we couldn't figure out, was it because it was that good or that bad,
Right.
So
Turn him into a stallion.
Mm.
I turned into something. We just never figured it out. You know. So then after a number of
Uh,
years, I still didn't feel satisfied. There was more that I wanted to do. So I said, you know what? I think I need to go practice law. So at a point in time, I would, since I didn't have the money to start up my own law firm, I would work full time doing the clinical research, which entails me flying all over the country, mostly on
Private jet.
East Coast.
the southern part of the United States, southeast part.
Oh, okay.
And what that entails, you go to the doctor's office, and the company, pharmaceutical company, give the doctor what you call a protocol, which is like a recipe. This is how I want the study to be conducted. Here's the medication to give to the patients. These are the
Yeah.
criteria that the patients need to have. And I would review that data to make sure that they were following the protocol and the patients were taking the drug. Like in Viagra studies, what we realized at one point is that somebody in the doctor's office was stealing the active drug and putting the placebo, which is the like a sugar pill to lay
Mm-hmm.
people,
Right.
Yeah.
in the bottles instead. But we caught it. So I did that for a number of years. At one point, I was the lead in one trial. I was sent out to California because my colleagues kept quitting. I couldn't understand why. So the first day I walked in there and I started to review the data, I said, wait a bit, something wrong. This was an asthma study. And you have two patients who have the exact same data at exact same time. Didn't make no sense to me. Okay.
Mm.
So my asked me, say, we have more than one machine that you're using to record to, we use what they call a spirometer. This was an asthma study. Like we go to the hospital, sometime they give you this thing to blow into to keep your lung capacity up.
Mm-hmm.
So it's called a spirometer. So two patients would have the same results. I said, no, something wrong. So I start to dig deeper because, of course, being a lawyer, you have a very investigative mind, a very critical
Mm-hmm.
mind.
Right. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And what I realized, no, something is wrong. So I went back to the company and said, hey, look, we need to have somebody to come corroborate what I'm finding. And when we went out the next time, again, she saw the same thing too. So at that point, we had to alert the pharmaceutical company and say, hey, we think there's fraud going on here. So they sent their people out and they kind of corroborated what I was finding. Then they had in turn to tell the FDA. So the FDA just showed up one day, no call, no nothing, and say, hey, we're going to look at everything. So when them look, they started to look at studies that this guy had been doing for years. And sure enough, the data was fake. Now, this is people's lives that you're talking about, because if you don't have real data, consistent data, you can kill people off with fake stuff.
Exactly,
Right.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Because
You know?
misleading information you're using.
But
Yes, absolutely. So
based from
ultimately, he was convicted of fraud and went to prison.
Mm.
yeah.
So I didn't know what was going on. I got an award. Of course, we never get the money, just get piece of paper, you know.
Mm.
And
Proclamation.
yeah, which I mean, and so one day they have this association called Association of Clinical Research Professionals, and I went there and I heard, oh, they have this. Somebody's going to talk about fraud with the FDA. And when I checked it out, it was my work that they were talking about. But I never
Mm-hmm.
got any recognition for it.
Uh-huh.
Because I went back and looked in the newspaper and they said, oh, it was the doctor's nurse who bossed on him,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So I did. I would do the research during the week, and I'll come home on a Thursday night and turn around and practice law. I don't know where I got that from. I mean, that was crazy, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And then fly out back on the Monday. And in the meantime, I had the children to take care of
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
You're living a triple life.
that, yeah, you know.
So
So
what
eventually,
law were you practicing?
I say, something, I'm gonna go practice full time. So I opened an office at my office in Fort Lauderdale, and I did immigration law and probate. I was a civil attorney because I never saw myself as a criminal attorney. In fact, when I was
Ah no, Marcia. How long have
okay,
been
so with immigration, so doing immigration law, a lot of times, like when you have to go to hearings, to plead your client's case, it's subjective on the judge's part. You
mm-hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot of immigration law is again, it's federal regulations, and it's a lot of paperwork, a lot of forms. I don't know if anybody ever go on the immigration website and see what's on there, and then of course you go before the judge and you argue your case on behalf of your client.
Yeah.
When you go to Chrome down in South Miami and you see the conditions that they have the, the people in, it hurts, you know.
Yeah.
I have a friend right now that he and I argue back and forth because he's a Trumper, okay, and he's a Black American, and I tell him, I said, look, a lot of times, okay, fine, the system is broken. I admit, okay, they need more immigration judges. But a lot of people they're coming here for genuine reasons. They're coming here to escape uh, the problems that are home. America has always had people migrating here. The only people who belong in this country is the American Indians. Okay,
You're right.
so when you have
100%.
people coming in at the border, yes, they're coming in illegally. All right, and yes, there should be a better process, but there isn't. So what do? You have to fix it, and none of the politicians want to fix it.
No.
It's not in their best interest to fix anything.
It's for them call that is a nuclear. Nobody want to touch that.
The
Nobody want
problem
to
is
touch that.
nobody has an empathy anymore. Like they don't see themselves in the person's shoes, or it could be one of the family.
No, them not see it feel. That's the problem.
Right. So once you can have empathy, then it's going to be hard for you to see the reason why people do what they do.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
mean, right now I have I don't call him my client anymore because I can't help him. But he was a detective in Jamaica, right, that arrested a lot of bad people. He came over here in, I think it was 2009, and overstayed his visa. Okay, so of course he's now undocumented illegal, whichever, My friend said to me, "Oh, they're illegal. They're not undocumented. Undocumented is that way the liberals they just want to coach it to make it look nice. I don't care." So he came over here and was working, doing labor work, until one day he said he wasn't feeling well and went to the hospital. And he said in front of the emergency room physician, he had a stroke.
Oh.
All right. And he had a second stroke again right there. And when the hospital and they did nothing. When the hospital realized what them do, them take him and them put him into a rehab place and pay all his expenses. All right, for 2 years because the law says you have 2 years in which to be able to from when you know to sue. So he didn't know. So he stayed in there paralyzed on the I think it was the right side of his body, all
Yeah.
right, until after the statute of limitation run out,
Run out.
them kick him out. So him end up a bata all over the place, catch here, catch there, until he ended up in Delray where I met him, right? The problem is he didn't tell me that this had happened to him, because if he had told me, I would have been able to go get have help from my colleagues to file a malpractice lawsuit against
Yeah.
the hospital. All right. So what happened is that the statute of limitation ran,
Run out of
and
that.
then they're struggling.
Yeah.
So he ended up the guy. He have both diabetes and hypertension. No medication
Wow.
because of course him can't work no more. All right,
Yeah.
and then he was working and spending money for woman and drinking,
Yeah.
you know. So no, him a catch all here and there all over the place until he ended up in Broward County Hospital, right? Broward Health, and
Yeah.
I went there and saw him. And through Providence, I was able to get him into a shelter, but it was a unlicensed homeless shelter. Let me tell you something. When we take him there and we open the door, the cockroach them was having a ball. Them a dance 2 by 2 and a rubber duck. Okay. But the option he had was no place to live. He would have been living on the street, you know? So he ended up staying there for a number of years until I eventually he ended up back in the hospital again, and called me and say the people them telling they realized he was undocumented, so them tell him, say, listen, we're going to have to let you go.
Pull the
So
plug. Yeah, yeah.
apparently there's a bus that would take them I don't know how it go, but they would take them and put them together. I guess they would deport them. Someone said, no, make ICE come get him. Because if ICE came and got him, at least he would have some place to stay and he would have food. But no, they don't want to listen to me. Okay, so it end up, I saw him about maybe a week ago, and him, him trying to do something because him lost his passport. Him have a pension that him can get in Jamaica, but him need him passport to be able to get it. Him not have no money. So him catch up for this bar at daytime until night come him go sleep at a laundromat.
That is
And that's it.
That's a sad story, man. How much of them story there? How you feel? Because enough of them stories sound like you go through. I mean,
Yeah.
we upon you when you know all them story.
It's hard. I mean, but there's nothing I can do from a
No.
human perspective. You feel empathy, but from a legal perspective, there's nothing you can do with that.
Yeah.
Because we have to get paid for our work. And if you take pro bono cases constantly,
Yeah.
then you don't make no money.
Yeah. It is a tough
Yeah.
situation. It's not easy at all. But let me
Yeah.
ask you something, Martha. That is a sad story when you tell me about it. And I say when you personalize it, that way they realize that it is. And I just feel it's up personal for people to understand it sometimes. But people just see numbers. People just see numbers and it's like it is.
But that's exactly what my point has always been.
Yep.
This country is so big, everything is just a number, it's a statistic.
Yeah.
It's
And a
Because
lot And a lot of times them giving you false numbers too.
Yeah, yes,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
that's
Mm-hmm.
another thing.
Right, because it's manipulated by the
Yeah,
system.
yeah. When
Yeah.
the whole
Absolutely. Yeah.
all I numbers them, this Marsha talk about numbers them in the clinical researching and in a which other thing you talk about where you just know in the justice system I talk when you talk about immigration system.
Right.
Everything is coming. Everything it's almost like we're living in a fraud system. It's
I mean,
very
there is so much racism here. I mean, I remember when I was at the state attorney's office, and I'd be there dressed in my coat and in my suit and everything, and the white lawyers would come up and say, "Oh, where is the state attorney?" Because they're assuming that I'm a clerk. And I look at them and said,
Yeah,
"I am the assistant state attorney."
yeah.
Hmm.
yeah.
Yes, yes.
I can see that happen. Yes, yes. Because them can't relate to it at all. You know, I said them cannot. They cannot.
Yeah.
It is a
Yeah.
But
very
that's what I told you that this thing is real, bro.
it's a very unfortunate situation. I must say that. And it's like there's the solution just tough. Because the solution in a sense is individual. It's
Hello.
Yeah, man, we're still here, master. You're getting a
Yeah.
call.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're still here, man.
yeah.
But let me go back
Yeah.
to Pembroke a bit though, because I was curious to know all them things the way you do, and you sound like a resilient person, and you go through that. I'm glad to tell your
Indeed.
story. So I'm saying to you, you sound like a woman of substance. So I can't say myself. You go through this, but most of the times, but it sound like,
Listen,
yeah, go ahead, Phil.
Marcia has lived a full life.
I've tried. I've tried. I'm not
Trust
perfect.
me, a full life.
But
She has worn many hats.
yeah, but I want to ask you a question, Master, because
Mm-hmm.
I want to go back to Pembroke because recently, and that's what I want to talk about, because we started our group, Pembroke Alum Lifting Lives, and it was just me and Tompa and Andre and Phil and Jackie, and
Mm-hmm.
we meet every week,
And Chris.
and Chris, sorry, Tang Get Tea, and Chris Baptiste, and we meet and say we just want, and we have given back a lot to Pembroke and a bad no at all, right?
Mm-hmm.
One heap of things we have done to Pembroke, and I'm going to start publicize it and put it out there because I don't think people know what we have done. It's
Mm-hmm.
not about just having fun when we have a meet and greet, and we love to have the fun. But it's like, I mean, I come to because I ask a question when I do my podcast and Meadowbrook, you know. It's like, and you have a wide variety of experience. That's why I ask you the question. How you get people where you used to live at Pembroke, affiliated with Pembroke, to make them want, you call them, where you could have tell them to make them want give back, to say them contribute back to Pembroke.
You know, you have to have it in you to be altruistic. Okay. I mean, for me, I've always wanted give. I'm always giving. I mean, when I was in high school, I was in the Red Cross. I was in the Girl Guide. I used to go to Children's Hospital and read to the kids there. I went to an orphanage where there was this one little girl. She had spina bifida, which is she had fluid on her brain. And I actually am Tunki. To this day, I still remember that child. I close my eyes and I can still see her looking. So people have to have it in them that look, God put it here on earth, not only for you, but to give back to help your brothers and sisters, you know. But people get so caught up in their own selfishness, their own
Hmm.
personal existence
The
that they
superficial
don't want
life.
they want to give, you know. That's all we're here for, to give back, to help each other, you know.
So based on what you then, Ma says, a numbers game like everything else.
Yeah,
You just have to go
yeah.
through the
All you
number.
can do is
That and
talk to people.
Yeah, you just have to
that
talk as
and
much people as possible.
Remember what me always say, Lance?
Yeah.
So in once again in our field, right? When we hitting clients, potential clients, if you have a capture ratio of 10%, you're excellent.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
You're excellent at 10%, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you only reaching out to 5 people, I get none for the most part, you know.
No, I the numbers in
So
Tampa,
to
yeah.
your point, in terms of numbers, you need to hit a lot of people to achieve, some
The target
success.
goal.
You understand?
Yeah.
Well, I get more feedback, you know, from the call. We
Yeah.
know how I go on,
Yeah,
you
the
know.
Ghana no Tom, I
Yeah,
don't know where that come from. Yeah.
I'm on the patio.
Yeah, so always win,
Oh,
win now.
okay,
Or the wind.
okay, got
Okay,
you.
yeah.
I'm
Okay.
Yeah,
here just passing
in
over.
beautiful Myrtle Beach.
Right, because she's too close to the ocean, so it's going to be a lot of wind.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
man.
ultimately, you have to just put your message out there and repeat it over and over. And put it
And
out.
put it
Absolutely.
and
You
put it out
see,
to a
it's
variety
like, let's say,
for
you
a
can
number of
carry the
people.
horse to the water, but you can't let him drink it. And I think humanity today in people is very limited. Like, it's just like what Master said. Most people right now is living a superficial life and it's all about them. So
So,
it's
but
hard to find the humanity in them.
me not think the numbers have changed in that spin. Me just all the things that a certain percent of people are gonna give. I just say you have to find them.
Right.
That is exactly what it is today, based on what we're saying.
No, but
And
just I say yes.
you have to be able to sell it, you know. It's not
Yeah,
all of
yeah,
us
yeah,
can
yeah,
do that.
yeah.
Right? One of the things, you know, once you get to a certain level, you know, in both CPA firms that I work, right? They didn't expect staff, semi-senior, seniors, and so on, to bring in new clients, right? But once you get to the manager level, you are now required to bring in
Mm-hmm.
new clients. So the only way you can do that, you know, you have to hit the pavement.
Yeah, man.
So
Yeah, man. Yeah.
you'll be going to a lot of functions, you know,
Mm-hmm.
attending a lot of
Yeah.
seminars,
Yeah.
functions, and all them things there. Because if you're not seeing a number of people, you're not gonna bring in clients.
No, it's a
It's the
numbers game,
same thing.
Tomba.
If you're only reaching out to 5 people to solicit funding or
You're
assistance,
not gonna get nowhere at all. No,
you're not gonna get nowhere. It
no.
have to be a significant more
It's a numbers thing,
higher
T.
number than that, you
It's a
know?
numbers thing.
Right.
Absolutely.
The
Yeah.
greater the number, the greater the probability of success.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I just say, and one thing I'm missing, I think, and when the article came up about the school last week, and we have a little discussion about it this week. I two discussion we have about MARCIA, but I think sometimes I just said sometimes is the selling of the thing you have to know for sell it, you know. And I think if
Yeah.
you do have a good product for sale, not even a good product, but a compelling product. Because I think if you have a compelling product for sale, you will get support quicker. We see that the numbers game same way, you know. But you know,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
the numbers game too. But it's like I reach out to people and say, boy, this is what you want to do for Pembroke. Like,
Listen, it always gonna be. It's like you go and you trying to accomplish that from the average person. And then I got to say, it's not like I wouldn't want help, but right now I have it just as tough as
yeah.
them. Especially with the economic climate today, is not easy to get financial help from the average person.
But
Right.
Because that's gonna be the claim to fame. Say
but sometimes
they're having it just as rough, and they would have if they could have.
but sometimes on the
But what
finance
is
alone enough feel. Finance alone on the issue. It's like when we look for problem when them say them have a Pembroke. I mean, no, it's not a Pembroke problem alone. Because I used to teach and there's a problem in the school when I teach. Same way 70-80% of the kids them can't read.
Yeah, but the problem is, I tell you, it's multifaceted. But the biggest problem, root of the problem, is the government, is the Ministry of Education, because they are the ones that oversee the system. And if you want good, you're going to put the necessary things in place to achieve
You're the
good.
problem why I never want to have that discussion, I feel. Because that is, in my mind, because me I say now, if you're going to look to the government for help, we're not getting no better at all. Them are the problem.
It's not look jealous, hold them accountable.
But Phil, that I'll be saying, I'm not going to argue about that. But you might think so
They
that
have
can't
to,
work.
they have to be held accountable because
But
what they've been doing
So
over
you
the
gonna
years.
pay the teachers them to give them the incentive to want to work?
no, that massive Phil. That's not what I'm saying. That's not
You're
what I'm
going to
saying.
provide them with the necessary
No, Phil, what may I say?
equipment that they need to work.
No, that's
the
not what I'm
necessary.
saying, Phil. When you see a problem, you know. Well, this is how me look on it. Me can't tell no for look on it. When you see a problem, you know, me always think and I say, okay, what me could have the personal to help the problem. Not to give the government or call the government money. And this is how me see. When me say I'm not money alone in a field, this is them you that Pembroke call now, I'm going to go to Pembroke call because that's what they about to talk about. If one person say I call you 3 times a week, and spend 3 hours with him for go through certain things and mentor him. That's the only message that can work. That don't involve government. That's just a personal connection between. And
yes, it will help.
But it
But
go far away, Phil. It go far away. It would go far. I said that's outside of the box thinking. I don't know if it could have worked.
It will work, Lance, but it guys still need certain things in play for him to achieve the ultimate success. You see what I'm saying?
No, man, I reach as a Phil. I just want him can't even read first. I just want him to get off of the ground, Phil. That's the point.
But that is jelly. Oh, I told you the other day, I was shocked when on the news they're saying that they're going to reintroduce reading from grade 1 to 3. Like, oh, could you stop having reading as part of the curriculum? It don't make no sense.
At the same thing, Mr. Phil, when I read that, I said,
when I heard the news, that's right. When I listened to Daniel Morris, the minister,
reintroduce.
You cannot start. Listen, it's like how you say you love reading. Reading should be constant,
Phil,
jelly.
listen what I say. Let me say this to you. Me used to teach in the classroom, right? In Orlando, yes, in a school. Right? There's an inner city school, so we call it that way, right? And most of the youth them couldn't read. Let me just give you an example of me. No. When I have a Pembroke primary, these were 5th grade students. And you get 20 sums to do. Some usually call it maths question.
Yeah.
You get mark out of 20, right? When we give you them the 20 maths questions to do out of the book, most of them couldn't do 5. Listen me carefully, So I go to the teacher and mentor me and say, all right, how am I going to mark this? You know the lady tell me, say? That Jamaican lady too. And she said to me, say, I just mark them out of the 5 with them do. You hear me I tell you? So if them get 3.
I'm glad, I hope you listening to what you're saying.
Oh, me never listen to what I say.
What is that? What is that telling you? What that telling you?
What that tell me? So them passing on the kids them and them know so them can't read.
Right, the problem is systemic.
It's systemic. Even here in America, it's the same thing.
But it's America, I'm not talking about MARCIA. It was Jamaica, America, I'm not talking about MARCIA. In Orlando,
okay.
So it's not Jamaica. I'm not telling you about something. I'm not talking about when we used to, and that is
why
I
experience. That's why that person.
And that's why I stopped teaching. Because
Dexter Manley used to play for Washington Redskins. Sit down in the changing room, and him always have the Washington Post or something now. Go on like him a read. Dexter Manley went through all education, including college. One of the best defensive players them in the NFL. Could not read. But the man have the New York Times and the Washington Post are going like him a read. Yeah. Them put them through the system. And just as Phil said, is the system. Put them through the system. Now, for we help back to your point now, Lance. You see, one of the problems I see, and Birdie reach out with the question, and maybe the next couple of days when we talk to people. Talk is cheap,
Yes, Thumper.
To get the commitment, to get the commitment from people is very difficult.
Yeah, man, I'm not talking about money commitment either, Thumper. Exactly.
No,
exactly.
Time commitment.
Because that's the only thing I will, Thumper. That's the only thing I will.
It's very difficult, and if what Jackie's saying is correct. I don't know. I haven't delved into it. I kind of stayed away from it, but she's right. If it's the 7th grade, it's the first year, right? A high school.
Yeah.
And therefore, the kids are coming from other primary school. They're not necessarily coming from Pembroke.
No, maybe. No, right. That's why you're to right, Thumper.
Because only 30% of the students actually live in Pembroke. Less than 30%, right? So they're coming from all other places, right? So to fix the problem, it's a system, as Phil said. You have to go attack it, not just Pembroke. You have to go attack it all over.
Broad.
No.
I met with Ronnie Twaits when he was Minister of Education, when he came up here and what a session with him, and he was complaining about the impact and the power that the what I'm calling it down in our head, the sports ISA sports, right? ISA have. That 45 is all a child needed to be able to play sports. 45, which is
below
failure.
passing, as we know, Tompa.
Below
Right, right.
passing to play sports. To me, no, for that madman. If him can't get 45, him not play no sports.
No, but you see back to the, and you're right, Tompa, because we don't know, you know. But me I gonna put it out there, you know, because it's not a money thing, Phil. Me I say,
Listen to me.
They have the money. They have the money.
I told you
that they
this,
could do
I've
better.
told you this several
That's right.
times. The failure or success of any business is management.
it's a commitment.
Period.
Phil. No, yeah, it's management.
Jelly.
If you can't get
Management is what dictates whether the machine run like a well-oiled machine or it run like something that is only service now and again.
yeah.
What you allow is what gonna produce your end result.
All right, let me tell you what I think about Phil, because me just I say, I put it out there, because this I go out publicly. Because me I say, if we can't get a group of people, if people have to commit and want to do it, we can't force somebody to do it, Tompa, it's a voluntary thing. We commit and say them go literally start mentor, them go start mentor. If them can't find 3 hours a week for mentor a particular youth or a girl, a little boy or a little girl, and try and see if that could work. That's how we see it. And if we can't get something like that and it pick up momentum, and eventually we have it start with 5 or 15 people. And I said, boy, I gotta try this.
The bigger thing is that just mentoring. You want to be physically there. You can't help the kid with his homework.
No,
you know,
I
you
just say
can't
no.
give him
Man, that's all of that. What may I say enough it? All of that can come in. But people say where I go, because you have to try where you can. You have to start where you can start. You know, and if you can start online and see if that could have worked. I don't know if it would work enough. I'm no educator, but I'm saying for the kids that go to school, you know, and can't recognize letter. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Me just say,
Jelly, that's why really just like you, I don't really want to discuss this because I'm telling you, it's a multifaceted problem. It's a big problem.
No,
yes, it is.
Listen to me. Yes, even if our parents wasn't the smartest, them would have tried their best and assist us with the schoolwork. These parents today, well, they are not parents, rather. These mothers and fathers today, they don't care about that.
No,
when you see a man I do a song, listen up. When you see a man I do a song about Fully Dance and it hit the charts at number 1, you know that this society has gone astray.
Let me hear Marcia say, because me I say, Marcia, they have been touch on this.
You're not to the real life.
No, it's not something I see. Hold on, Marcia, my answer for it. It's not something I see. Me just say it's what me can do. I want me could inspire people for dope on a one-on-one basis.
I tell people this all the while. I'm a strong believer that technology has done more harm than good. Most kids today cannot function without a computer.
Yeah, no, Phil, but it's more
iPad or
no, Phil,
well, that's a computer. The cell phone, a laptop, a tablet, whatever. You take that away from them, they're lost.
Hold on, Phil. Let me challenge you. Since you
and when it get worse, it's gonna get worse.
Phil, let me challenge you. Let me challenge you. But that's why I know.
Yes, it is.
I just want to ask you a question, Phil. One question I ask you. You think, say, if we could have set up a system where you could have mentor a particular little boy or little girl, you have the time and you have the willingness to want to do it, and you have to spend 3 hours a week time online. Because we don't have the time for go to Jamaica, and it's hard to do it in person.
Exactly. How many kids? Hold on. We
are talking about you, not talking about no other kids. I want if you have the time and the willingness to do it, and you could have mentor a little boy or a little girl for 3 hours a week, the whole high school year. You make the commitment to ever do it, right? You think that make a difference in their life?
Absolutely. It would definitely make a difference.
That's all more focus on, Phil, nothing else. That's my vision. That's all more focus on. That's what happened.
But here is the issue for them down there.
Hold on, Phil. Let me hear Marcia say. Hold on. Let me hear Marcia say. Go ahead, Marcia.
Okay, to do it online, they would have to have access to the internet. All right?
Oh, exactly.
No, but understand all of that, Phil.
And Marcia, I don't cut it. It's not only that. Wait, last one. It's like raising a kid. Yes, if you don't start from the day that pick the band, because it's like a lot of things say, oh, the baby can't talk, it don't understand nothing. every word where the youth speaking around that child, the brain is processing it.
Phil,
If
Phil.
you don't put in,
Absolutely.
listen, if you don't put in the work from day one, and you think say you're going to wait till them reach preteen like 8, 9, 10, for start teach them things, diagram and stuff.
Phil, no,
Because
hold on, Phil.
what? Well, listen, Jenny, listen to me completely before you comment.
No.
What
Right.
I'm trying to tell you, you see, when that child reach a certain age, that child is not gonna hang around you anymore. So that's what if you, I'm going to help you anyway because it's a matter of why I say using this as an analogy. You spend 3 hours a week with that child,
Yeah, would you
but you
tell?
say all the rest of time. Listen, you say all the rest of time. If he's around negative element, it's
No,
going
no,
to
Phil,
affect your.
I understand all of
Listen, it's
that, you
going
know.
to affect because it's like they tell you, if you're always the smartest one in the room, you're not going
Phil, no,
anywhere.
hold
You will
on, Phil.
never
Hold
develop.
on, Phil.
I rest my
Yes,
case.
no,
Then.
you're
The
not
poor
telling me, hold
girl.
on, Phil, you're not telling me nothing, no. Me have focus on that, say. You said the true would help. You said
Yeah.
that, you know, you said it would help, you know, and that's,
It would.
so where to
But I'm telling you,
where you focus
We,
on nothing
we,
else?
but here's the thing now. If we feel so passionate about it, you can lead by example, you know. You start it.
Yeah, no,
One of
no,
the
Tom, but
things
me
that
understand, yeah.
one of the things I find is that a lot of people throw things on the chat,
Yeah, man.
and not one of them would say, "Move, take this up."
Yeah, man. No,
The
right,
yeah.
Tompa,
executor,
exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
I will
But
take the
that
lead on this,
exactly just like trying to
right?
get donation and everything
Right.
else.
They
Is
don't
that
say
you
they
said
come
it
up with
best in
all
a
the
thumper,
ideas.
talk is cheap.
Yeah, man. They come up with. If you notice, I didn't respond other than to correct what somebody said.
Yeah.
I didn't respond, right? But a lot of times, even they come up with good ideas, you know, and suggestions,
But
you
the
know, but
man step up and say them, I'm going to do it,
they never
Tompa.
said, "I will do that."
No,
No,
no, right,
Right.
right.
Yeah.
back to the
Yeah.
help, right? My charity work, you know, I'm not as involved as Marcia is, but my charity work started in the 80s, right? Started at when I went to George's, and it didn't happen. But the principal run me around, the vice principal run me around. I end up going up to Arden and find a youth. And mother was the can't sell candy outside of the gate. The boy is an attorney in Jamaica now, right? Then I continued to St. Aloysius Primary, which is where I went to school, right? And
Yeah.
bringing kids through that process, right? Through you know, it's funny. St. Aloysius Primary has a alumni association, you know, a primary school of alumni association with, you know, they join, you know, we used to separate the schools, right? St. Aloysius and St. Joseph's were two separate schools. Now it's one school. It was a boys' school and a girls' school separate. Now it's one, right? Through that organization, every year I've supported, you know, 5 kids every year. The last kid now went through Aloysius to George's, and the boy, as I say, doing parking come from, you know, and the boy there in New York now, finishing bachelor's, wanting to start a master's, and I sponsor that kid,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
The, to get people as directors, we have to show some leadership,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
once you're showing some leadership out there, we have to know what we're about. We can't just attack. It's supposed to come natural.
Yeah,
You know, if
man.
somebody asks you, you can't spit it out. It becomes natural what we're
You know
about.
exactly
Our
why you're doing
mission,
it,
Oh,
man. Yeah, yeah,
oh,
yeah.
our
thank you.
mission, and all these things
Mhm.
have to be
Yeah, man.
natural,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
You can
yeah,
put that back inside.
yeah.
And then you that's how you will convince people. But tell you, no, I went to dinner with 4 youth. I'm a trainer, a CPA, you know, them every quarter now them want to do a dinner. I went to dinner with them the Thursday before our weekend and sit down there with them, and I had sent them the letter. You guys see the letter I'd sent them, right?
Yeah.
4 of them name on that letter. One of them said to me, you know, Rudy, you know, I can't just give you $50. I wonder what the man had tell me for me. Never ask him for no more specific amount. The man, when me reach home the night, you know, the man him start ask me about the program. I'm gonna start going through it in detail with him. When me reach on and sign on, you know, one man is the highest money I've gotten from any one person. $500,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Him give me. And him said to me, use it for football because I'm a Brazilian. Him say use it for the football, for the youths, them, the
Yeah,
youth
yeah, yeah,
football.
yeah, yeah.
Not a one, I go deposit the check today. Not a one out of them because him same seat and so I'm saying, Rudy, just send it to me again. Send it to him again. Him send me a check for $200. I go deposit the check.
Yeah.
Two more out of it, I'm going to follow up on. This is what we have to do. We have to go outside of the permaculture community because it's limited, right? You only have a certain population there you're dealing with.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah,
to
yeah.
expand that population and then try to achieve, as I say, even if your capture ratio is 5%,
Yeah, man.
you're getting 5% of the people you reach out to donate.
Yeah.
Same thing with the time. If you can reach out to people that are willing to give time to it. Rinch, for instance, said to me, boy, I'm a retire at the end of the year. Maybe he's a person. I will ask him.
Yeah,
Rinch
yeah,
will be
yeah, yeah,
mine that
yeah,
I'll
yeah,
ask.
yeah, yeah.
Maybe he's a person that would want to do this mentorship, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And so on.
But just I throw it out, Thumper. I am just throwing it out, and I say, because me just don't like the talking at all, the bag of mouth thing. Me just say
But here's what my suggestion to you is: come up with a plan and document it.
Yeah, I'm going to
of
try
what
that,
you're
Thumper.
thinking.
I'm going to try
Document
that.
what you're thinking. Throw it out there. We'll vet it.
Yeah,
as
man,
a
no, I'm
group.
going to try that.
And Marcia can help us vet it.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then we'll put it out there that
Yeah,
we
yeah,
all
yeah, yeah.
speaking the same language.
When we talk to the people this week, because I have a discussion specifically, I talk with the Pembroke thing, and these are educators. And a solution I'm not going to focus on. I'm hoping they can make it.
It's just really crazy where the society is today. You see all that thing with the KFC, free meal, what do you?
Sickening, man. Sickening.
It's all, I can't believe the society is so depraved now. It's crazy.
Yeah, but Phil, hear me
It
say,
is absolutely crazy.
Hear me say, no? When you talk about the problem, it's not like me ignore the problem, But my mind is I say, okay, there's a big problem we have, I just what me can do personally. Who me can inspire.
If you can save one child, you're good.
Yeah, man, that's something I look on it.
That's it. Yeah. Absolutely.
That's something I look on it, man. It's not me never want discussion talk about the government for do this or the government for do that. Me I gotta say, okay, me I gotta try this, me I gotta try inspire people to say, boy, can you mentor a child for 3 hours a week? Three evening a week. 1 hour every evening. And that me I focus on. I just said Trump, I'm gonna put something together and see because that's the only thing it can work. I only say to that make a difference. It would make a difference. So, but I know.
Yeah, man. If you can save one person,
yeah, man, it would make a difference.
Right.
I am build up a momentum. I am friend for no. When somebody say what you're doing, without even asking nothing at all, you just try and motivate people. Say, boy,
because seeing is believing.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And they say, no, what have in my mind, for that I go on, and not like someone I know, Martin Brown talk about that in a Thumper. When Martin tell me, and Martin wanted something like that before he died. That's how him give the money.
That's why it burned me.
Yeah, man. And we're going to use that money to start something for me or Thumper. Anything we're going to do, if we can kick off something now, we're going to name it after Martin Brown. And Martin Brown was a guest on the program, MARCIA, who came and he had dyslexia. And he talked about it and the challenges they had with dyslexia. And he donated some money to us to get children tested. So when we read the article about Pembroke, we never surprised. None of we were surprised at all because we talked to somebody who personally, and him a big man, he was a big man like me until him passed about a month ago. Me and him was about the same age, right? So I know.
His funeral was last weekend.
Yeah, funeral was last weekend, the weekend before we went in bed. But Marcia, what bad must I go up on that time? But the Pembroke thing I talk about how you get people, and on site, how you get people for one give. And they say, boy, it's a numbers game because then everybody have the same mentality for one game. And everybody have the mentality like we Thumper fair and Phil. Fair talk and just attack a week time and just put it out there. And let it answer it go. But we'll keep doing it. But let me ask you a couple of more questions.
Yeah, but we gotta try,
Yeah, man,
we gotta try.
Exactly.
Yeah, not to try.
It's all going to motivate people for say, boy. It's all we can get people. It's all we can get more people motivated to say, boy, this is what we want to try it. But let me ask you a couple more questions, Marcia, before we wrap it up. Because I believe it or not, it's almost 2 hours there. I know you come in and think we're going to chat for 2 hours.
Yeah, we realize that.
But your discussion was very informative. Your wide-ranging skill. How it make you feel? I bring up back all them Pembroke memories after all these years.
It makes me very thankful for the foundation that I received. friends that I made, and to see, to come and meet all of you, at the event 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah,
And that is something good and something to be continued and build upon it.
Right.
Yeah, I'm
indeed.
glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear like people like you are come on. I never expect that at all, but I appreciate that come on and saying that, Marcia, cause
Well, that's the first thing when she come to me, that's what she said, she mentioned that and right away she commit to make a donation and she made the donation. It's people like her
I
we want.
know where it come from either Tompa, but
She
don't.
never know. She don't know me from Adam.
Yeah,
Marsha didn't know me from Adam.
exactly.
And she come and she made the commitment.
But she hear about what we are doing, and we just have to keep doing it here, Tompa. I'm gonna do it more and more. I'm gonna do it a slightly different. I'm gonna ramp up the website. I talk to Cameron about it. I'm gonna try. I have an idea in my mind. I'm gonna put out something every week, Tompa. And it's not even a podcast. I'm gonna put out something every week to remind people. Me run it by you and you see. So
yeah.
But
we gotta try. I mean, we're here to give back.
Yeah, man. Right. I'm more
to pull up the others behind us.
I know.
I tell when I go to the Broward County Bar Association Black Lawyers meeting, I look at the young ones coming behind. I said, "You're standing on our shoulders. We stood on the shoulders of the ones that came before." I mean, I met those guys who they're the first Black attorney in Broward County.
Mm-hmm.
They tell me about the life experiences that they went through. They had to do something called ride circuit. They would go from county to county so that they could represent our own people.
Yeah.
What the judge name again? What come from Annandale? What name again? We interview him.
Yeah.
No, yeah, man. Let me tell you.
I know that the other day was
Norman Hemmings.
Oh,
yeah, yes.
You know him, Marcia?
I know Norman. I don't remember his last name. He's an immigration judge. That one?
I'm not sure if he's an immigration judge.
No, I think he's a superior court judge, I think. If my memory serves me right, in Florida.
He used to go JC. He used to live on Annandale. What about Fiona Creer?
Pull up the podcast and send it to her.
Yeah. I'm going to check to you.
Marcia, one question. What is the Ayaba?
Okay, so what happened? I went to Ghana in 2019, the year of return.
Yeah.
And while I was there, I had a naming ceremony. So Ayaba means fearless, which is what I am. I do what I have to do to get by.
Yeah, real warrior.
Yeah. And of course, Marcia comes from the god of war, which is a warrior. So I tell people, I said, I'm a fearless warrior for God.
Right.
Yeah. Indeed.
Nice.
Indeed.
Nice.
No, so before we close it out, let me ask Phil or Tompa and having a question for Marcia. Why not think we could have asked? I never asked.
No, I can't think of any.
Not off the top of my head.
I try to find a podcast and Marcia to send to you.
Yes, sir. When you left Pembroke, you migrated in 74, so yes.
74, yeah.
Yeah, you were a teenager. You was going to St. Jude at the time. Okay.
Yeah, I was just going into sixth form. No, I went to All Saints and Jonestown.
Okay.
Yeah, we used to play ball along at Jonestown there one long time.
Yeah. Well, that explains your fearlessness. You have been through the trenches.
Yeah, man.
We as Jamaicans, we are unique. We have contributed so much to the world, not just music,
indeed,
but in whatever profession that we take up. We'll make a difference.
Listen, I once told a boss of mine, I said, listen, yes, Jamaicans, if they're going to the underworld, they're going to be the best at it. And if they're going in the professional world, anything we're going to climb to the top, and that's just how we are.
Even went to Ghana. I mean, in Accra, there was a reggae club.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Because remember, a lot of Jamaicans, if they especially entertainer, cause Rita Marley lives
Right.
there.
Yeah, passed by her house.
Yeah, that's where
A
she.
Ghana she lives?
Yeah.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
she live. Been
Okay,
live
okay,
there.
okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And
And a couple of the entertainers live over there.
No, Jamaicans punch way above them weight, man. Way above our weight. That is, in anything
Yeah.
we decide for though.
People don't realize that's why the rest of the Caribbean envy we, you know.
Yeah, man.
And
Yeah.
the fact that if somebody see them and they hear their accent, they say, "Oh, you Jamaican," they hate that. But it's
No,
just for
actually, I
it's just
find
for popularity.
the Haitian people, they try to emulate Jamaicans. They want to say that they're
Yeah,
Jamaicans, you
man.
know?
yes,
Them love try
yes.
Well,
that,
it's
man.
Guyanese I know like that more
And it's only a
than
Jamaican can
anybody
check
else.
them, you know. Because we just have to
See,
ask one question and know so them not come from Jamaica, you know. You just have to hear them talk. And you know, say, nah, man.
yeah,
Them not come from Jamaica at all. No care how much them try to put it on. Them can't fool we. Them can't fool. Them can't fool a lot of people them who don't understand how Jamaicans talk, man.
I
Exactly.
think our accent is very unique
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Mhm.
And people. But
I would say the best, honestly.
Well, of course, we're
Yeah,
biased, you
that's how we
know?
see it. Yeah. But
it's not even biased, but really and truly, I think our accent is the best.
I want to tell you, you know,
To me.
it's a
Me
master
love,
story,
me
Phil.
love, me love hear the singing Trinidadian though.
Oh, you just like doubles. You like doubles and bust of shot.
Yeah, man, you know it go.
A master story is like epitomize how Jamaicans saying resilient and not take no. Because the amount of things they go through Marcia and it's like you just come out on the other side, see me up on the top.
Uh,
Right.
Yeah,
You
it's
never
just
stop
my life
searching
story,
and
and it continues. I don't reach anywhere yet.
No, man, your
I
life,
have so much more
your,
work to do to give
but
back,
of
you know?
course you're
your
young,
life,
fresh and
your
green.
life story is a powerful story. And my daughter just started the law, must introduce it to her.
Okay.
She just start practicing. She graduated last year, so you know.
Where? Where?
She's in Colorado. She moved to Colorado and went to
Okay.
school in Colorado. And she just started. And
Okay.
she had a family law and do a little immigration. I don't know if immigration involves her, but yeah.
I mean, even in my law career, when I was in my second year, my FAS, there was they were doing a reception for the law students in Broward County and Miami-Dade County. I was the only one from my school who went, you
Yeah.
know.
Mm.
So we got there and they were giving out mentors. We got to the president of the Young Lawyers Association. We said, "Hey, where's my mentor? I got a mentor.
Yeah, man. You
She
listen,
was
that's,
a senior partner at one of the premier law firms in Miami."
yeah.
Okay. When we got there, I was the only black person besides the janitor.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Look, I get exactly that. Let me know to
And
Marcia.
people don't understand that those situations is not easy to deal with, when
Yeah.
the
But
entire
but
system is
but,
against
but
you.
Marcia in a
Yeah.
business. Marcia
Your
just a good
progress.
friend.
No. I don't
It's
care.
not that you're
In
not
in
business, Jelly,
fact,
but you cannot
last
ignore it.
every year they have their a reception for their former law clerks. So I show up there, and to this day, this is from 1991. They have never hired another black law clerk.
That's you.
Can you imagine that?
okay.
Yeah.
You see that?
Well,
But
listen.
when you hear
People don't understand that the racism is real. A lot of
Real?
people
Yeah.
don't realize that.
Phil, what
Mm.
Marcia is saying also, she's observing these things. There's a lot of people
Yeah,
who go through it and not even observing it.
And
exactly.
I realize it.
I know that. I know that very well.
You
She
see?
not. The bottom line is she's not going through life with her eyes wide shut.
Aye. Because I remember when I go back up to New York when I moved to Florida, I transferred with the firm. So when I
Yeah,
moved back up, when I went back up to New York on one of the we were doing a lot of work for the FDIC,
yeah,
doing the RTC madness, right? When I go up there, I was one of three blacks when we started in the New York office, 150 something people in that office.
yeah.
When I went back there, I saw like 10 black. So I care about four of them to lunch. I'm ask
Mm.
them what them working on. And them tell me. I say, look, uno make them keep on upon them job too long.
Mm.
Uno coming under the
Right.
CPA, uno want do. Uno not supposed to be working on these government. What them do, because them know the government have what them know term as DEI. Them
Yeah,
Mm-hmm,
know.
that
mm-hmm.
your
So they go out and
tokens.
hire them so them can get the FDIC job them. Put the
Yeah,
black people, black boys them on the job and have them in a file room, one like them a file clerk, and them not doing
Yeah.
any audit. I said, no,
Right.
don't give them more than 3 months for that. Tell them you need to be on an audit. Because back then in New York, to become a CPA, you have to do audits.
Yeah.
And then the partners sign off on it that you did audits.
Yeah.
No, you just have 5 years. You just have 5 years of college now, and you take the exam. You become a CPA. You don't need no experience anymore, right?
Yeah.
But back then you had to do it. So that's why and it's the same way Marcia is observing. It's the same way I was. When I go somewhere, I look for them things there,
Yeah.
I look for the black people, I look for the minority, make sure we're represented.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You see. And these are the things we have to do.
But me love your story, Master. Your story is a story of
Yeah, man.
resilience and observation.
When me read it to the land, that's why I'm not ask her much question. I read through it and I say, wow.
Unrelenting
I say,
perseverance. That's
boy,
what it is.
and good.
Yeah, man.
And good at because me never do them did want me going up medical things, do biology and all them things there, I'm gonna say no, it is one of the good things, and feel these things because you live up that side there. In the Northeast, there's a lot of opportunities, I remember Albert Einstein, at the medical up in the Bronx,
The college, Albert Einstein Medical School.
yeah, they wanted me to come here to get in a nuclear physics and all them thing there. Me no like study. So I said, no, me not go. Go do them thing there. Marcia now would take a challenge.
Yeah.
You
But it's
understand?
because listen, you see our insatiable appetite for knowledge
Yes.
is what propelled her.
Yes.
Yeah.
Man.
I love Marcia.
When we read when we read through it, man, I'm very impressed.
Yeah, man.
Oh, please, it was not to impress. It was just part of my life story and where I'm going.
You're giving us the history, but
we know that, Marcia. We know that, man.
Listen, it's like I said, it's your unrelenting perseverance.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
And then on top of it, I want to say this before we close out. We always say, Marcia, our spirit tech people. I see him from me and you met. I went Friday was the first time. My spirit just take you.
Oh.
You see. So we know, and my wife said the same thing. She said she likes you, and then we're there, So everything, the vibes is just right. I'm glad Lance was able to put this together so quickly.
Real, no real.
No, me never want to wait at all. Once people say I'm interested, we don't say. So, Marcia, you ever listened to the podcast yet before?
No, I didn't know anything about them.
All right.
Just go on YouTube and type in Pembroke.
No, me send her one with Norman, the judge.
Yeah, but in case you want more.
Yeah, man, you can just click on that, man. I go to the channel. Yeah, you can't miss it.
Okay. All right. I look for it. I look forward to it. No, I tell you, writing that, you saw how late I was up writing last night, right?
Yeah.
You come on, I don't think I sent that to you until after 1. But it made me realize that my family don't know that the stuff I've done. Come and talk about it. I mean, to me, it's just no big deal. You know what I mean?
That's the thing, is the humility.
So
people achieve and then make it get to them and they just brag about it.
So this will be a good conversation to say to them, Marcia. This will be a good conversation.
That's what I was telling my older daughter today, that I'm going to send it to her.
Yeah, man.
And to my younger daughter and to the grandkids, Yeah,
man. Come, I'm gonna put this up on YouTube as part of the Pembroke members conversation.
We need a youth picture of yourself
yeah, man. Send me some pictures, Marcia. Some young pictures.
When you was storming the clubs in New York.
Yeah. When you're underground.
No, I am not one who take pictures a whole lot.
Or when you're on the bicycle.
When you're on the bicycle.
Well, I have one of it. I love mangoes, right? So last year, I grabbed one of my neighbor and said, "Hey, come take a picture of me." So just a picture of me in a mango tree. But climb the mango tree.
Yeah, man. Whatever you have, man. Whatever you have, Marcia, send it to me.
Okay. All right.
Yes, and a lot of women would never take on that endeavor at that stage of your life.
So, before I close out, Marcia, you have any closing remark before I ask Phil and Tom for any closing remark and I close it out?
Well, I am honored to be part of the group, to be able to hopefully contribute more in the future, and to get others to come on board and also do the same thing. I mean, as I said, God put you here on the earth for a purpose,
Yeah.
and you just have to go and fulfill that purpose,
Yeah,
until
man.
God say,
Yeah.
hey, it's time for you to come
Unfortunately,
home,
a lot of us never ever realize that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And Tompa, in the
And
closing remark, sorry, Marcia, you finish? Sorry.
Yeah,
and there are other areas that I want to talk about,
perfect,
because people are going through a lot, and they don't
perfect.
talk about it. I mean, you see them put up these things on Facebook that they're living their best life, but underneath there's a lot of crap
Oh
Yeah,
going
man.
on.
Yeah, man.
yes,
Okay.
Yes, yes,
oh
yes.
yes,
Yes, yes. We know that.
oh yes.
Yeah, man. It's almost like too much people that live a false life here, Marcia.
Hmm.
Too much people that
Yeah.
live a false
False
life.
and just difficult life. Today my daughter came off the phone and one of our colleagues just crying. Everything that's going on with this madness
Hmm.
Yeah.
under this madman, is stressing a lot of people out. And
Mm-hmm.
this one
Yeah.
of our colleagues just broke down, opening up to her and stuff. And it's just crazy,
One
crazy.
of my
Challenging
passions is
time.
mental health. I
Yeah,
am I
yeah.
am a big proponent of mental health, and for me, I don't hide who I am. Like, I tell people openly, I was diagnosed as being bipolar. Okay, but
Mm-hmm.
in being bipolar, it gave me the gift of being able to move the way I move.
Right.
To
Yeah.
be able to have done
What you
both
have done.
science and law at some point concurrently. You
Mm-hmm.
Right.
know, and
Yeah.
mental health is difficult. You see people, but they put on their mask, they go to work, and you don't know that may be the last day that you'll see them. They'll just go home
Mm-hmm.
and kill themselves.
Yeah,
People
man.
don't talk
Exactly.
about stuff like that.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
man. That is another massive problem, to man. Massive, massive
Yep.
problem. Big, big problem.
Introvert.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Tompa, any closing remark before I go to Phil? I'm gonna close it out.
No, I just want to thank Marcia for coming. Thank you for your donation, Marcia, and
You're welcome.
appreciate all that you've already contributed to us, and I look forward to working with you and with the Permacar Lifting Lives.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
And Phil, any closing remark, my brother?
Well, I just want to thank Marcia for coming through. It's been refreshing. It's been a while. And I mean, the knowledge shared and the insight and the memories, priceless. This one will be an inspiration for a lot of people, trust me.
Yeah, man.
So, once again, thank you for coming through and being a part of the community.
Yeah, thank you, thank
You're
you.
welcome. And
Well,
I'll still be riding my bicycle. So next time when I have an event at
Don't
the
worry, it's
park,
a
may
good
bring my bicycle
exercise.
and
Maybe we have
Yeah,
a
man.
bicycle race.
Exactly.
yeah, get a ladies wheel though.
no,
Yes.
no, no. I have two men's bicycles.
Yeah, no,
It's
I'm
all right.
trying to remember if it's lady wheel or lady bar. But
The ladies wheel is
Ladies wheel.
angled down.
Ladies
Nah.
wheel
Yeah.
bicycle Phil.
The
The
bar
bar, the
is
bar,
down.
and the bar, man. The bar cut off
The
and
bar
slant.
is down. The
Yeah.
bar runs from the neck of the handle
Yeah, and
down to
Hmm.
slant.
almost where the sprocket is.
Yeah,
Whereas the
yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
it
guy
yeah, yeah.
who
slants.
run from the
Yes.
neck of the angle to the seat.
Yeah, man. And the ladies wheel we call it.
Because,
You couldn't
yeah.
two up on the ladies wheel, Phil. Guys slant.
No.
No.
You couldn't.
You can,
Unless
but you have to
you're towing on the
skillful.
handlebar.
You have to skillful, Jelly. Remember, say, man, stand up on the axle for the back wheel and now hold on for your
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
chain.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Yeah,
That
man.
photo. Yeah.
Yeah, but you wouldn't know about that. You're uptown youth.
Midtown. Anyway,
Yeah, well, that means you're confused. You don't know which direction to go.
let me close
You're
on the
stuck
program,
between
yeah.
a rock and a hard place.
Let me close on the program, yeah. Anyway,
Yeah,
Philip,
man.
N for Rudolph, Tompa, Tony, Kamika, our guest, Master Samuel from Chippenham Avenue. That's what I remember your master in terms of from Chippenham. It has been a real pleasure. It is, and I always in this program, if me not say on the ball, but we never play ball, me not go do it that way, I must say. It's a pleasure. And God bless the whole away, and God bless that great community of
Yeah.
Pembroke,
Amen.
where we can meet and talk about the past and our life and our future after all these years, like a Pembroke will say me. So God bless the whole away. And God bless a great community
Indeed.
of Pembroke. So have a good night, everybody. Peace out.
Yeah,
Yes,
man.
thank you.
Yeah,
You
God
man.
bless
too.
you.
Bye, everybody.
Same here.
Yeah, man. Good
Bye.
night.
All
Send
right.
me the picture of them,
Bye.
Marcia. Send me the picture of them.
Yeah. All right. I
Yeah,
will
man.
send it
Cool.
now
Yeah, man.
before I forget. All
Yeah,
right.
man. All right.
Bye.